And chat. How's it going, guys? Oops, I forgot to actually move my monitor over next to my TV. There we go. Now I can see chat and look at the screen at the same time. Right there. Alright. You guys ready for 4 hours of support links and exploration? So we're going to be at this for a while. Excuse me, we've got a bunch of A ranks to watch. Walk right out my door and there's one. Had a doctor treat an infected blister and now you're on antibiotics for the next 10 days. Oof. Well, at least I've always liked going on antibiotics. Which is a weird thing to say, but I have been, like, physically ill and untreated for, my tooth problems for so long until recently that it always was a sign that I was about to feel much better for a while. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alright, Edelgard Ferdinand.
Standing tall, I see.
Edelgard, hello. What do you think of this horse? An equine marvel, no?
Isn't it equine?
Look how intelligent he is. You can see it in his face. Certainly much smarter than yours.
Are you being competitive about whose horse is smarter, Ferdinand? Come on. Yeah, ... indeed.
What a lovely blue.
It's just going to be a montage of him being competitive, isn't it?
Behold, Edelgard. Do you see this blood-red bloom? This is much more impressive than the pale little sprigs you have there.
Oh my god.
And as I'm sure you know, redness symbolizes courage and strength.
God damn it, Ferdinand.
Ferdinand? Stop. I can't believe you're wasting my time with a petty one-sided rivalry.
What are you complaining about? You told me not to publish my pamphlet, and I complied.
5 years ago, when she told you not to publish a pamphlet of comparisons between the two of you?
I've had enough of your foolish antics. Very well. I will grant you the duel.
Oh shit, they're gonna duel! Equine is in fact pronounced equine. Huh.
But when I win, you must forfeit the right to bother me with your ridiculousness. Forever. Do we have a deal?
Ah, so you'll fight me after all? Wonderful. To battle, then! All right, Edelgard. Have at me!
As you wish.
Just knocks him on his ass immediately.
Ha!
It only took you one blow? How?
I can't afford to hold back against an opponent like you. I led with my fastest, strongest strike.
Fastest and strongest? You're just flattering me. I have been defeated. Utterly. I cannot believe I was foolish enough to challenge such a plainly superior opponent.
Well, he turned around on that fast.
The difference in our skill level is not so great as all that. If you had taken the first strike, you might have won. That's why I didn't give you the chance.
I do not think talent is what separates us so much as readiness. I had not the faintest idea of what to expect from a real duel. I was playing, you are not. That such an ill-prepared noble would think to challenge you? It is laughable.
He turned around on this fast.
And
That's their whole B rank, huh? Oh man, what's Edelgard Bernie gonna be like?
Gardening with you is a lot of fun, Lady Edelgard.
I feel the same. You know so much about it, Bernadetta.
I looked after flowers a lot back home. I like them. They don't talk, they don't get angry, they don't hit you. And they're sweet.
God, that went dark fast. I mean, it was implied that he hit her, but Jesus.
They are sweet. Unlike people, they can all be trusted on sight.
You're sweet too, Lady Edelgard. I mean, not sweet, but, you know what I mean. You can talk or even get angry all you want.
I thought you were straight, Bernie.
Well, I'll strive to avoid getting angry.
You're really kind. I'm less scared of you than I used to be. Most nobles are terrifying. I've had lots of bad experiences with them. But getting the chance to talk to you like this makes me glad I came to the monastery.
I'm glad too. I had heard rumors about the reclusive daughter of House Varley, but you're nothing like I imagined.
God, I hope Edelgard, like, has her dad executed or something. I know he's on house arrest, but...
Rumors? About me? Just pretend you didn't hear anything.
There's no need to be embarrassed. Rumors are meaningless. All that matters is the truth.
You're right. I'm not really a recluse now anyway. Not since I came to the monastery. I won't let the rumors bother me.
I'm happy to hear it. Actually, I should thank you.
Thank me? What for? Wait, do you mean you need to thank me for all the times I've made you mad? You do, don't you?
That mind of yours. No, I mean the grateful sort of thanks. Before I met you, I was more prone to anger. But now, I've changed in that regard. So, thank you for that. Oh, I suppose you're not listening.
Oh, I'm done for! 5 years worth of resentment is about to crash down on me all at once!
Oh, Bernie. I do like to think that in the Golden Deer timeline, Raph beats the piss out of her dad.
It's okay, Bernadetta. I'm thanking you, not attacking you.
Oh, I jumped to conclusions again, didn't I?
You did, yes. But don't worry about it. Enough talk, don't you think? Let's take care of these sweet little plants.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Bernadetta, I hope you'll keep spending time with me.
Of course I will. Hey, look! This flower's just about ready to bloom.
So it is. I can't wait to see its true colors.
Ah, metaphors. That's a good metaphor to leave that off on. Alright, Edelgard Petra, let's see how this went.
I have been watching you in secrecy, Edelgard. But you and Hubert were noticing me, correct?
Well, if you intend to shadow us like that, you can be sure it won't escape our notice. Hubert was primed and ready to remove you. I ordered him to stand down.
You have my thanks. I have been making a decision that I am wanting to learn from you. I was thinking it was enough to be shooting one bird with one arrow. But after speaking with you, I trained with hardness. Now I can be shooting 2 birds with 1 arrow.
I think she means literally.
2 pheasants? Are you implying that...
Yes, a single arrow.
She means literally. God, she's awesome.
That's astounding, Petra. It's perhaps a bit late to explain now, but what I was getting at earlier was actually...
I am having a joke.
You... come again?
I really was shooting these birds with one arrow, but my joke is that I did have understanding about what you told me. I took it to my heart.
Did you know?
You are a person with great bluntness. I am admiring of you. As an emperor, a commander, a warrior, and a friend, you are excelling at all that you do. All of the Empire is resting on your shoulders, and that is including Bridget, too. I will not be falling behind you. I will be carrying Bridget on my shoulders, too. And one day, you and I will be facing each other, and we will be shaking hands.
You could shake hands now. Get a head start.
Yes, that much is certain. I can see that you no longer need me to look out for you. You and I are much the same. We dutifully shoulder our burdens and stand tall no matter what. It would be foolish of me to deny it.
Your words give me great joy. And it also gave me joy to see you being flustered when I was showing you the birds.
She actually did it, didn't she?
A cheap trick, to be sure, but inarguably funny. To think that you went to all the trouble of shooting 2 pheasants at once for the sake of a joke. Well played, Petra.
We both are growing every day. I hope we will keep doing so.
Alright, Edelgard Hanneman.
Ah, young Edelgard. This is your first time in this room, yes?
That's right. When I was a student, I avoided this place.
For good reason.
I couldn't allow the church to learn of my crests, after all.
True enough. But now you have come here by your own choice. Can I take that as an indication that you have come to trust me a little more?
I suppose so. Though I'm still bothered by certain things.
Tell me, what things might those be?
Well, we're fighting to free the world from the church's control, and to unify Fodlan. You must have some idea of what the world I'm seeking to create will be like.
An end to nobility. Yeah, I think he's on board with that.
With the world freed from the power
Oh right,
of
free from
Cress,
Cress.
Fodlan's system of nobility will collapse.
Yeah, I've been doing Edelgard supports in order. We started with those.
Precisely. Our current system is founded on the fact that crests are inherited through blood.
We watched Edelgard Petra, Edelgard Bernie, and Edelgard Ferdinand.
If we shatter the status quo so that those without crests are no longer at the mercy of those with them, the very concept of nobility will vanish.
Why should that have any effect on me? I am no longer a member of the nobility.
Yeah, but you are obsessed with Cress.
Perhaps the fate of the nobility is of no consequence to you. But what about that of crests? You've devoted your life to unraveling their secrets. Whereas I seek to create a world where crests are no longer valued. In fact, I would prefer to rid the world of them entirely if at all possible. Does this not concern you?
I see. I think I finally understand why you've always seemed so unsure about me. You imagine your ambition might crush my dreams.
Just a little bit, yeah.
I assure you, there is nothing to worry about. I support your plans and your ideals wholeheartedly. But at the same time, I also believe that the influence of crests will not be so easily quelled. That is why I must continue to research them.
Oh, so he's completely on board.
Secrets they hold.
He's down for figuring out how to shut down Cress. Although I guess he's researching how to turn them off for Lysithea, too.
I see.
That was a short B rank. Edelgard Manuela.
Professor Manuela, may I come in? This room, what happened here?
She hasn't cleaned in 5 years is what happened here.
Oh, nothing out of the ordinary. Why? Is something the matter?
No, I just... Can I help you tidy up? Actually, I have to know. How did you make such a mess in the first place?
Please don't ask for the details. Suffice to say, my room always looks like this after I've been dumped.
Oh, right. Well, let's see what we can do about it.
Bold of you to assume Manuela cleared that 5 years ago, yeah. Divergent delicacies, what's that?
Was unexpected, but appreciated, Edelgard. Now, what can I do for you?
I heard that you haven't been acting like yourself, so I came to see if you're doing all right. But the moment I saw you, I could tell you were troubled, so it seemed pointless to ask.
Yeah, but it's a pretty straightforward reason.
I suppose it was rather obvious, wasn't it? Perhaps I should stop being quite so dramatic.
Spaff Epilogues album. Oh, is that an MSPA fan thing? You've probably told me about it. I'm just not recognizing the acronym.
All the same, dear, I'd like to repay you for helping me out. Name your prize.
A date.
I don't need a reward, but if you wouldn't mind answering my question, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Of course. What is it?
I once asked you why you chose to retire.
Oh, fan music group. Unofficial MSPA fans.
You said that the goddess supports you emotionally, but it's up to you to take care of the rest. I have to admit that I don't quite understand what you meant by that. Can you please explain?
Did I say that? I suppose so. From joining the Middle Franc Opera Company to becoming a diva of the grand stage. I went through so much to achieve what I did. Looking back, I don't know how I made it.
What happened during that time?
A lot. My divinely gifted voice only got me to the edge of the stage. From there, I had to work hard to defeat my rivals. I did all of this by myself, through sheer force of will. All so I could stand center stage.
Ah, I see I was wrong about something. I thought that being a devout believer implied a certain weakness of spirit, an inability to survive on your own.
Coming right out with it then, okay.
But you've proven me wrong, Professor Manuela.
Another short B rank. Oh, please be Daylight Constance. Not Daylight Constance, please be
Your Majesty.
Shady Constance. I keep mixing that up because she's so sunny when she's like this.
Yes, of course. Unless you're not planning yet another magical exhibition, are you? Knowing you, it seems a safe bet. I can't imagine what else it could be. I already promised to help you revive House Nouvelle. If our campaign continues as it has, we'll soon prevail. There's no need to keep inventing spells.
Just coming right out with it then is basically the quintessential Edelgard mood. I suppose that's true.
I don't doubt that your Majesty has things well in hand when it comes to the war.
There's no music going on right now.
Yet why should I allow that to deter me from achieving my ultimate satisfaction? As the scion of proud House
There we go.
Nouvelle, I shall bring about my grand achievement before my house is restored. On that, you may rely.
You have a strong will and a strong mind. You do not consider yourself above concerted effort either. Even during wartime, you trust your own ability to fight and survive. You're ever focused on the future and on the actions necessary to realize it.
Where is this coming from? If there's an angle to be played with this praise, it eludes me.
I was only...
I don't like her post-time skip design, comparatively.
Your words are sweet. And yet...
Yes? Please, go on.
Forgive me, Your Majesty, but you promised that House Nouvelle would be restored. Yet you work toward a future with no place for the noble houses of old.
That is a contradiction, isn't it?
Granted, in your unified Fodlan, the acting lord for each territory will come from noble stock. But in the long term, your system will replace the nobility, our role will change significantly.
That's exactly right. There will no longer be lords who inherently rule over a particular territory. Instead, nobles will act as government officials, working for the people in exchange for a salary. Officials will be selected from the general populace as well, bringing an end to the very concept of social standing. All will rise and fall by their own merits.
That'll take a little longer than just after the war, Edelgard.
And it is for those reasons that I continue my magical research. Even if nobility ceases to exist as a concept, the meritorious spellcraft displayed by House Nouvelle shall make us a household name.
Us, huh?
I must admit, your words strike a chord. I find
Yeah, she looks better with the shorter hair.
Proclamation.
So you see, Your Majesty, the fortunes of my house dovetail nicely with your plans. The road on which you stride courageously forward leads to my own bright future.
I too believe that the future you wish for can be found at the end of this path we're cutting.
Splendid! Oh, amid all this talk, I neglected to present my demonstration. Sit back as I, Constance von Nouvelle, display the never-duplicated Nouvelle style of spell.
I wonder if it'll be something actually impressive this time.
About that. Another time, yes? I have much to do elsewhere.
No, wait! There's no time like the present! Why, it shan't take more than an hour or two.
Hour or two. Alright, Hubert. Hubert Ferdy. Looks so much less like Rosalind now.
Threaten them. Do what you must. Now go. Yes, sir.
Hubert, that letter. Is that what I think it was?
I suppose there's no denying it.
But Edelgard...
Explicitly forbade me to send it. Yes, I know.
I cannot believe it! You disobeyed a direct order?
Yeah, Hubert did? That's wild.
I thought you were her loyal aide.
Unwaveringly.
Oh, right, he has his own judgment about what's best for her.
I seem to recall you expressing a similar sentiment. It is our role to guide her when she is on the wrong course of action. Is that not what you said?
You're not supposed to do it in secret. When you disagree with your leader, you must voice your concerns directly. Otherwise, what is the point?
The point is the same. Lady Edelgard's best interests are served whether she knows it or not. She needs not trouble herself with the mundane details of my actions. Only results matter.
You are sorely misguided. When I believe that Edelgard is making a mistake, I tell her as much.
You do serve different functions that way, yeah.
Through discussing the matter, I sometimes find that I was mistaken. To skip that process, to make a decision that is not yours to make.
Perhaps your advice is simply useless then.
Excuse me?
Listen to yourself. If I do as Lady Edelgard requires, then you tell me to be more independent. But if I tread my own path, I am misguided.
Oh yeah, Ferdinand advised him to do more on his own, didn't he?
I suppose the fault is mine for expecting any useful advice to come out of your mouth.
Ugh, I have had enough of your grousing. To think, I started to believe you were a useful aide.
Alright, Hubert Bernier, Rek.
A summons from Bernadetta? How historic.
That is historic.
I've got something to give you.
Do you? What is it?
A token of apology for all the rude stuff I've said. It's only right. I hope this will help you let go of all the grudges you're probably holding against me.
There are no grudges, but very well. I'll accept it.
You will? Great! Here you go.
Some kind of embroidery. A flower. This is certainly lovely, but why give it to me? It seems like something you would send to a female friend or someone you had romantic feelings for.
Don't have romantic feelings for Hubert. No, Bernie.
But it's, lovely, you said, right? That's why. If you wear it, maybe you'll look less, terrifying.
I think he wants to look terrifying, Bernie.
You would like me to wear this?
You hate it, don't you? I knew it. I knew you'd be angry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Why not? Do I put it here? It really is quite nice. I cannot say that it suits me, but...
No, it does. It looks great on you. Sorry.
Nothing else for it, I suppose. I dislike you laughing at me, but it is preferable at least to you fleeing in terror. Therefore, I will wear this when I'm around you in the future.
Really? You will? I'm so glad. But you're sure? You're really sure?
First time in the history of anything that Hubert's caused someone to giggle, yeah.
If you're going to question me about it, perhaps I'll change my mind.
No. I believe you.
I wonder how many of Hubert's paired endings are romantic.
That is what's most important. Now I suppose it is safe for me to return to my usual strict methods.
No, I'm not ready!
This again.
Hubert Hanneman.
I must thank you for lending your expertise to the aid of Her Majesty, Hanneman.
Your gratitude.
Too many are romantic.
Hubert. I choose this situation entirely because it benefits me. I could carry out my research anywhere, of course, but that is, as they say, beside the point.
Is that so?
Hubert, there's something I want to tell you. Will you hear me out?
Depends what it is.
It concerns your father.
Then no. Absolutely not.
No, he's got something nasty to say about your dad. Stick around.
Oh, by all means, cover your ears and run out of the room. I'll still speak the words, for I feel that I must. Your father, the Marquis of Vestra, well, rather the former Marquis of Vestra, was a selfless man. He was practical and never sought power for the sake of power. In that respect, you and he are rather alike.
He's warming up that miasma spell, Hanneman.
Do you think such a man would so easily betray his emperor, even if led astray by the Prime Minister?
Clearly, yes. That's exactly what he did. He played a large part in the assault on the palace, personally spearheaded the Emperor's capture.
Oh, is it going to turn out that he was ordered to kill the Emperor and he saved him instead?
The thought of those treacherous arms reaching out for Her Majesty is truly upsetting.
Agreed. Facts are facts. The palace walls are stuffed with countless truths, all of them concealed by the stones and mortar of fact. I hoped you would have the capacity to see the unfettered truth. But I fear that where your father is concerned, your eyes may see only what you wish them to see.
I'll take that under advisement.
Feel free to ignore me. I know full well I have my own blind spots. It's just, I believe your father had something he was trying to protect. Bearing a stain on his honor, being purged by his own son, all in the name of protection.
Kind of not dropping any evidence for this, Hanneman. You're just talking.
I speak from knowledge, as someone who failed to protect something I held dear.
Let's say you're right. Suppose he did it to protect something he cared about. It doesn't matter. Doesn't change his actions or my judgment of them. My father was a traitor to House Rasvelk, and he deserved what he got. That was me protecting something I care about.
Ah, I can see the right of that. You have chosen your own path, Hubert. Continue protecting what you wish to protect, and I shall support you from the bottom of my heart.
That was kind of a pointless support link. I don't really like that. Alright, Hubert Shamir.
What is it, Hubert?
Nothing in particular. Just taking a moment to admire your skill with a bow. I'm willing to bet you could put an arrow through the neck of an enemy general from quite a distance. In fact, to any leader's bodyguard, I would go so far as to say you pose the most dangerous kind of threat.
Man, there is a contrast between his pre- and post-time skip voices.
Don't worry your fragile little self. Your lady princess is safe. I wouldn't shoot my employer.
I would certainly hope not. But there are some mercenaries to whom a contract means little. And you would do well to remember that Lady Edelgard is no mere princess. You should take care to learn the proper form of address for your employer.
I said lady. I already told you. I'm not going to break the princess's contract.
What did I just say?
Proper address. Right. Next time.
My patience has limits, you know. For the moment, you may stand in Lady Edelgard's good graces. But if you become a problem, I will not hesitate to eliminate you.
You're unstable, Hubert. Be careful who you threaten. I don't take kindly to those who get in the way of my contracts.
Is that a threat?
You've been dishing him around. You might as well get one in return.
Just some advice.
There's a hate each other C rank. Alright, Lionheart Petra.
Linhart, I need to be asking for your wisdom. Will you consent?
My wisdom? About?
I was hunting earlier, and the land gifted me with lots of game. It was all brought by me to the kitchen, and then...
You're not asking me for help with the butchery, are you? If so, stop right there. I despise the sight of blood.
They did a really good job translating his teenage design into his grown adult design. They did a really good job with that.
No, I am not asking that. All of that work and care is given right after the hunting. Giving gratitude, bleeding, skinning, all has been done to be making very nice fresh meat.
He doesn't like thinking about that, Petra.
That meat is sitting in the kitchen already.
Oh, thank goodness. Then whatever do you need from me? I'm not much of a cook.
I want to be smoking the meat, so we can be preserving it. There is a big quantity of it. But I am without enough firewood for the smoking. I am needing more than I was thinking I would. The darkness has fallen outside, so it will be difficult to be collecting it right now.
Why not gather wood in the morning? Get some sleep now.
This meat will not be waiting that long. It will be going to waste. Please, do you have any suggestion for what I can do?
Really? 12 hours will waste it?
You have much wisdom for giving, so I am hoping you will be helping me.
He already gave you his wisdom. Wait overnight.
Okay, let me see. Easy to forage wood at this time of night. You know, there were a good number of desks and chairs in the ruined corner of the monastery. Some of the stuff there is salvageable, so none of it has been thrown away. There's definitely high-quality oak and beech out there. Both would be excellent for smoking meat.
Is that factual? I was not knowing that. The wisdom you give is exceptional.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, no, that wasn't exceptional wisdom, Petra.
As long as it's anything that looks broken beyond repair, no one should complain.
I am giving you my gratitude, Linhart. Now, let's be going.
Oh, she's gonna rope you into this, buddy.
Pardon?
You have all of the wisdom about choosing wood for smoking. I am wanting your assistance.
But it's bedtime. Okay, fine. I can point out the choice smoking wood. Then I'll have to help haul it all back, won't I?
It would give me great happiness. There's no one better than you for this task.
Please.
There probably is.
Alright, fine. I'll help. I'm just that nice a guy.
And Lionheart Hanneman. That'll be all of Lionheart's B ranks. Not a lot of A's ready to go, though. I guess we'll work on that.
Professor Hanneman, do you have a moment?
Linhardt, of course.
Last time we talked, you mentioned the importance of having goals.
5 years ago? You haven't talked in 5 years?
I gave it some thought, and in the end, I couldn't find one.
Well, no need to panic. Sometimes a goal can reveal itself to you without warning.
What's your goal, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, mine? I want to create a world where everyone can access the power of crests. Where no one has to suffer from having or not having that power.
Well, now that you're up on Edelgard's side, you'll be doing the second half of that at least. Time skip transition for supports is almost always awkward, yeah.
Huh. That's a pretty big
It would have been easy enough to just say, a few years ago, you told me to find a goal. I haven't been able to find one, and it's been bothering me. Instead of the last time we talked.
But then wouldn't you end up studying everyone? In that world, you'd be killing yourself trying to do research on every person alive.
Ah, you may be right. But at least then, we wouldn't be the only ones taking such pains. The more people who have crests, the more people who will do research. And with more students, the research will progress far faster than it is today. That also means there would be less of the back and forth you don't have the energy for, which should make you happy.
Maybe so.
Does that still do nothing to pique your interest?
To be brutally honest, it would be way less exhausting, but less satisfying as well. That's like fishing at a market.
So you at least understand that much. That is why I do research.
The last time we talked generally works for other routes because you kind of get scattered to the winds, less so in Crimson Flower. Yeah, I really liked the introduction to the post-time skip group in the Golden Deer route. Like the gradual reveal of everybody in that battle was great. It was awesome. Such a good way to introduce everything and gradually work your way into the post-time skip timeline. That was really good. I suppose I'm a little let down by the transition in this one. But oh well.
If someone's going to see results someday, then I want it to be me. That's a thought that keeps me moving forward, even when it is difficult to do so.
That sounds like enthusiasm. That's not something I have. But if we work together, I wonder if it would spark that enthusiasm.
Are you saying you would agree to study crests with your old professor?
In the end, I think it would probably be more interesting than fishing alone. I don't even have anyone to show any big fish I catch.
Oh, as it were, I feel very much like someone who's made a catch.
Crimson Flower very much seems like it was meant as a hidden alternate route, but they decided they didn't want to hide it too much. I mean, it seems like it's the primary story for taking the Black Eagle's side. I mean, it feels like siding against Edelgard with the church feels like it's just going against the point of choosing Black Eagles. And I get why some people would make that choice, but I don't know, it feels like the point.
But the future shall hold even greater things than that. That's a promise.
If you don't talk to her that month, you're completely locked out of it. You don't get a choice. Leonard Hanneman stops at B. Casper Petra.
Hey, Petra. How's training going?
Wait, wasn't this their A rank? Why does he have his young voice?
It is going well. I am not having any troubles right now.
Good, good. At least things haven't gotten worse, right? So, did you hear what happened the other day? The professor, really.
It's been 5 years, Casper.
Caspar.
Oh, whoa. Okay, there's no need for that.
You are the son of my father's killer. That means I must be killing you and taking revenge.
What? I thought you said it wasn't a big deal. We're not our parents and all that.
Your optimism is not making sense. It is not possible that you are not having hatred for me. My father was killed by the Empire, by your father. And so I will be impaling you on this blade to be satisfying a deep wish of mine.
Is what you're expecting me to say, Casper, right?
A deep wish? What are you talking about?
I am talking about my wish. Of course, I am also having another wish. An even deeper wish. I wish for you and I to keep being friends. To keep fighting and surviving together. When you are speaking of your father, it is with a proud smile that injures my heart. But that is only a small thing. You also are working harder than anyone I am knowing. So, I can't bring myself to be killing you.
Man, she got way more hostile over the time skip.
I see. So you do hate me because of what happened, but
Petra wants to peg
wanna be my
Casper
friend?
is the takeaway. Oh my god. She wants to impale him.
You haven't stabbed me yet, so you obviously want me to live more than you want me to die. I hope.
That must be the truth. More than all of it, I am not wishing to be losing you. It would give me great sadness.
Got way more hostile or got less careful about the whole political hostage thing? I suppose that's fair.
Oh, okay, that's a relief. I don't want to lose you either, and I definitely don't want to fight you.
Man, remember when we started Golden Deer and it was just this big poly blob?
To be honest,
With the A ranks?
if things were the other way around, I don't think I'd be able to forgive you. I'd hate you. And I'd hate myself for feeling that way.
Caspar.
But you're not like that. You see me as your ally and your friend. You had the chance to kill me, but you used it to show me that you want me to live. You really are an incredible person, Petra. I want to be more like you. I want to prove that I'm a good friend. I promise, you won't regret letting me live.
You have my gratitude for your understanding. Hearing your words gives me great happiness.
You would swing at her twice, then she would hit you, then she would crit you, then you would die. Yeah, that's Casper's fate if he engages with that.
I was always feeling a barrier between our hearts. I am sure I was also the one putting it there. But from now onward, I will be sharing all of my heart with you. My grief and anger, joy and love, all of it.
Okay, that turned around fast.
I'd like that, Petra. From now on, we'll be more honest and open with each other.
Did you hear, Caspar? There's been another theft in the pantry.
on! We can't waste time arguing about it like last time. We gotta catch the guy. There he is! Corner him, Ash!
I've cut off his escape route. He's all yours.
Ha! You're not going anywhere, you dirty thief!
We did it! He was pretty nimble, but no match for the two of us together.
I guess. But I didn't think our thief would be so...
Cute, Ash.
Yeah, I never would have guessed a cat this big could sneak into our
Big
pantry.
chonker, huh?
So, what do we do with him?
Ash should have gotten some beard wisps. Yeah, I can see that.
Wait, weren't you the one barreling on about striking the culprit down last time?
You really think I'm gonna attack him? Why don't you try your genius plan instead? Go ahead, talk it out. Let the cat explain himself. I doubt you'll understand a word the guy says.
I guess neither of us has the right solution here. So, what are we going to do with this? Oh!
Huh?
Huh? Oh. Looks like he gave us the slip.
He sure did.
Well, after a daring escape like that, I guess there's no more we can do.
I'll teach him a lesson if we ever catch him again. I thought of a pretty good plan to show him the error of his ways.
Is it to feed him until he dies of obesity?
Well, I've got an idea of my own, so I guess I'd better find him first.
Is that a challenge? Well then, may the best plan win.
Ash would just adopt it. Casper Annette. Oh, we get to see Annette's post-time skip design.
Why did this have to happen?
Huh. Not what I would have expected.
Getting separated from my own troop. I'm a failure as a commander. It's already almost sunset. My wounds are aching, and I'm so hungry. Maybe I'm just gonna die right here. But no! That's such a pathetic way to die. I wonder if the rest of my soldiers are okay. I'm so worried about them.
Up and at him, Annette. There you go.
Caspar? What are you doing here? I was wounded in the forest. Lost sight of my troop. I wandered around and it... Oh, where is everyone?
Annette's design grew up instead of just getting older? Eh.
Calm down, you got nothing to worry about.
I can see what you're saying.
My men retrieved the rest of your unit. You're the one we've been worried about. How you feeling? Are you hurt?
She is hurt, yes.
You've got a pretty painful looking wound on your leg.
Oh, I'm alright. Though I might have trouble running.
If you say so. I gotta admit, I got the chills when I heard you were missing. Your soldiers told me what happened. I was only able to find you thanks to them. You've got a good troop there. You should be proud. What's wrong, Annette? Not feeling so good after all?
No, that's not it. I was just thinking about what a hopeless commander I am. It's my job to look after my soldiers, but they ended up having to look out for me. If I'm this hopeless, I shouldn't be out there at all.
What are you talking about? I don't know anyone around here who works harder than you. You put your all into your work and everyone knows it. Why do you think your soldiers are so loyal?
Caspar.
There's no way they'd do so much for you if they didn't see it in you. Come on, let's head back. I'll help you if you're having trouble walking. Your soldiers are worried about you. Go show them you're doing just fine.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, I gotta take some of my meds. Hang on.
No problem. Just remember that it's okay to make mistakes, as long as you're learning from them.
Oh, Bernie Yuri! Bernie Yuri! Oh, Bernie Yuritsa is going to be a trip. Bernie Yuri!
Frigid ocean waters. I can feel them already.
Calm, calm. Just listen to me for a moment. There's something I need to tell you. The reason I worked for House Varley, Bernadetta, was to kill
Whoa, what?
Ha! I knew it. I always knew you were out to kill me. Sink me into the deep, dark, freezing depths.
What?
Hold on. House Varley? But why?
As you well know, theirs is one of the 6 great noble houses, the true rulers of the Empire. And you're the heir, with a crest. There were tons of people who wanted you wiped out. Like people who want to eradicate House Varley, or a relative who wants the glory for themselves. That particular breed of treacherous nobility is the kind that'd hire a kid to do their dirty work. The first thing that kid would do, get close to the target by befriending her. Find an in through, say, an assistant gig.
This kid you're mentioning sounds real. That was you, wasn't it?
Yours truly. My biggest mistake? Getting to know you. I crept into your room one night and readied my blade.
Wow, this did not take the turn I thought it was going to.
The whole thing had been a breeze. Up until that moment. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Oh no, this justifies Varley getting him beaten.
While I hovered there, hesitating.
I don't like that.
Your father came in. You know the rest.
Why are you telling me all this? I'm so confused.
Because I want you to look at it objectively. I was hired to kill you. Your father
I don't
was
like
looking
this.
for me. A filthy assassin. He was looking out for you. You're lucky to have a father who cares for you. and
Don't
doesn't do
justify that piece of shit.
Father protected me? He protected me.
Yeah, why would I lie? At this point, I figure it's you who hates me, and not the other way around.
I don't hate you, Yuri. But I mean, I do feel weird. But I don't know how to feel. Can't we just be friends? Like back then?
I hate this.
You want to be friends with...
I hate this.
The reason you couldn't kill me was because we were friends, right?
Well...
You were my first friend. My very first friend.
I hate this.
The first person who played with me. The first person who went on adventures with me. The first...
And you were the first friend I had to baby that much.
What do you mean? Well, even so, you were the first friend who cared for me.
This is a terrible support link. I hate
Thing
this.
was probably a sham anyway. Though you know, even if it was, I did have a lot of fun with you.
I knew it!
I hate that. I fucking hate that. That's what. More and more this DLC, I dislike things about it. Dorothea Felix. Yeah, let's just pretend that didn't happen, yeah.
Get over here.
Kiss me! Gonna decide to just believe he just made that up? Yeah. I was half expecting that to be where he went with that.
Get over here? How about I tell you to get out of here?
You're always following me around. At least make yourself useful. Let's spar.
I have been giving you sword ranks, Dorothea.
What? Are you serious?
I don't joke. Draw your weapon, unless you intend to fight without one.
If you want to train, then do it on your own.
If you don't attack first, I will.
He's trying to flirt, Dorothea.
Okay. If you want me to knock some sense into you, who am I to say no?
For someone whose only aspiration is marriage, you're pretty strong.
Is this your attempt at flattery? Oh, it is, isn't it? When I was in the opera, I always trained for self-defense. Couldn't really get by without it. Nowadays, if you can't use a sword, then you're just in the way.
Perhaps I had you all wrong. I thought you were just a frivolous girl who cared only for men of status. On the contrary, you seem well aware of the realities of the world. I respect that.
Excuse me. Oh, she had to deal with reality pretty hard.
Yeah, all right. I'm beat. I'm going to go sit down and relax with a cup of tea.
God, that Bernie Yuri support. F-. I hate that.
You'll join me, naturally.
I will.
You didn't give her a choice. She's not giving you a choice.
We just trained together. Are you really going to turn me down?
Just this once.
Good. Let's go for tea. While we're at it, shall you treat me to a meal?
Don't get carried away.
No, you're no fun.
Petra Ash.
Over here, Petra.
Oh, now we're at stuff I didn't get to see.
Ash, I do not have familiarity with this alley.
That's all right. This is the place I was talking about. It's not much to look at, but the food's incredible.
Here you are, friends. Enjoy your meal.
Looks great. Let's dig in.
Okay, I will be giving this my try. Oh, and it has a delicious flavor. Ash, what is this dish being called?
I'm not sure it has a name. They just kind of throw together whatever they've got. But that means you never eat the same dish twice. Not knowing what you'll get is part of the fun.
Fun is a word you could use there.
A dish of infinite varieties. You would not be finding such a wonder in a restaurant for nobles. A commoner technique indeed. I give you my gratitude, Ash. I have learned a great many things about the commoner techniques.
No need to be so formal. I like showing you around.
Be a lot more okay with it if Yuri had tried to kill Bernie, couldn't go through with it, but her father never found out, and the beating was entirely unrelated. Yeah, exactly. Like, justifying anything that Varley did is a terrible decision. With the way he's been described treating Bernie, any kind of positive interaction with him, framed that way, framed in such a way that she should appreciate him more, is terrible. Really undermines the abusive dad story. Not because abusive fathers are 100% monsters all the time, but because it's framed as something that she should appreciate about him, and she should appreciate him more because of it.
Not many people want to come to places like this.
But I am feeling that our deal has been very one-sided. Are you sure you are not needing anything in exchange? If you are not wanting any curses, I can offer other information in trade.
Hey, come on, stop that.
Stop that? What am I stopping?
Talking about payment. You don't owe me anything. We're friends, aren't we? Friends don't pay each other for the time they spend together.
You and I are friends? Are you speaking truth?
On a note more directly related to this one, if you have the good fortune of lacking food allergies, thrown together leftovers is a fantastic meal. I'm sure it is. I just have problems with food.
I hope so, at least. So why don't we just talk about whatever we'd like, okay?
I have understanding. I will now be speaking whatever I wish. You are my friend. There are many things I am wishing for you to know.
Reminds us a bit of when Infinity War tried to convince us that Thanos loved Gamora. Yeah. Alright, Yuri Constance and Yuri Happy.
Remember when you mentioned briefly that you'd been in conference with some nobles? Did the topic of conversation happen to be me?
I haven't the foggiest idea what you're talking about.
Don't be coy with me. I recently received an offer of support from the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Which one is that? From the Empire? I can't keep the ministers straight. I know Duke Ire is the Prime Minister and Burgleys is the Minister of Military Affairs. Then there's the Minister of Domestic Affairs and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and I can't remember which ones are which. Lionheart's dad is the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Bravo! Your dream of restoring your house is that much closer now, isn't it?
We shall see. My response is on hold until...
Oh, Domestic Affairs is Lionheart's dad.
You sound as befuddled as I feel. These are events you set in motion.
Not sure if Foreign Affairs is anyone we know? Okay.
I want only the truth from you. Lie to me and you shall be incinerated.
That doesn't leave me much wiggle room, does it? Alright, I'll tell you. So yeah, I might have been negotiating with some nobles. Maybe. Possibly.
Foreign Affairs was Yuri and Constance's paralogue. Garrett, if it's not Lionheart's dad. I can't remember their paralogue. That was... Huh. I can't remember their paralogue. Yeah, we got Yuri's, relic, but I can't remember their paralogue. What happened in it.
You do recall that I have nothing I can offer you in return, yes?
Of course I know that. I just did what I needed to get what I wanted. Like always.
Explain.
He wanted to help you.
All my life, I've known how to angle to get everything I've ever wanted.
Oh, Mage Sword was running from assassins who turned into monsters. Right. Yeah, I remember now. Garrett.
See? That's how the savage mockingbird lives. Ever since I was a kid. It's how I've done things.
What does that have to do with... Wait, are you admitting to being the savage mockingbird?
And I find myself wanting in on this house of yours. The one you've yet to rebuild.
Oh ho, a marriage proposal.
What? No, wait. You haven't yet answered my question about the savage...
He just proposed to her. Wow.
Preened as this bird might be, his only home is a dark, wet back alley. As long as I'm me, nothing can change that.
It was where Day Constance was so sad that the noble was down to give us a pseudo-holy relic.
So I figured, if I could leave that home of mine and live simply as Yuri, even if only for a while, you know, I might like somewhere proper to return to. Somewhere cozy, comfy even. Better than House Row, where last I left from.
I'm not sure what you're insinuating here.
I'll get your house back for you, and I only ask for one thing as payment. Once House Nouvelle is back in good standing, I want a home there.
You mean you wish to join House Nouvelle? But the only way to do that...
He's proposing, like, straight up.
Marriage. Bingo. Quick, easy, simple.
You and I. Spouses.
You heard me. It's a fine enough trade. What's the problem?
I mentioned nothing about a problem. Where did you get that notion?
Not the best proposal, Yuri.
I've always found you very useful, though I could do with less, much less, of your back talk.
I suppose Milady doesn't want a rogue for a husband. Can't handle all that is Yuri,
No, but there is a procedure to this sort of thing. How can you join my house when I have none?
What? You want to do things in order? How boring. I suppose we'll be lovers for now.
Okay.
You mock me! You mock me and I will not have it!
Me? Mock? I'm being sincere. I'd never live out another dull day with you by my side.
Oh, Bob, no. You missed the Bernie Yuri... You missed the Bernie Yuri, A rank. It was horrible.
That is my only fear. A life spent by your side may be more taxing than I could stand.
Seeing you so flustered provides endless entertainment.
Alright, Yuri happy.
So happy. Are you going back home or what?
That came out of nowhere. Haven't you noticed there's a war going on? I can't leave now.
Yeah, what happened was, he confessed that as a kid he was there, he was a hired assassin sent to kill her, and her abusive dad gave him the beating and left him for dead because he caught Yuri standing over her with a knife. And it's framed as a thing that, that she should appreciate her dad more. You know, the horrible one who tied her to a chair and, we had just heard earlier hit her. Ugh.
Hadn't noticed. Nope. Now that I have, will you head home once it's over? To check on your parents?
No. Even after the war, I can't return. With my curse, I might destroy the whole village. I won't put them at risk like that.
True. I want to say you could go there and everything would be dandy. The way things tend to shake out, though, it can be pretty hard not to sigh.
Their interactions aside from that are fine, but they're inexorably shackled to that shit. Yeah. No, I hate it. I hate it. Fuck that.
What about you? You don't mind spending all this time away from wherever you call home?
I think he calls this home now, Happy.
Can't say I've spent much time thinking about it. Maybe after the war's over. I've got plenty to keep me occupied. If I drop things and head home, my people will lose respect for me. I can't have that.
I see. I know I should visit home at some point. It's been more than a decade since I left, though. They probably think I died.
They might. All the more reason for you to go back. I know you're scared, but if you keep your visit brief, it'll work out fine. I don't know about yours, but my mother would want to know that I'm okay.
I suppose I could stop by for a short visit. That might be nice.
Your White Heron Cup has Dedue, Hubert, and Dorothea. Which one is yours? Oh, I guess it would have to be Dorothea, since Dedue and Hubert can't be recruited, and Hubert and Dorothea are part of the same house. It would have to be Dorothea.
Still worried? I can accompany you. I'm sure you'll find some use for me.
Huh?
You know you'll be so caught up in my lively conversations, you'll have very little time for sighing.
That plan could backfire. I might find the conversation boring, and then...
That would never happen. I wouldn't allow for it. And on the off chance a beast does appear, well, that'll clear up your boredom pretty quickly, won't it?
You've got a weird sense of humor, Yuri Bird. I like that. I guess I wouldn't feel so nervous about going home if you went with me. I might even have a good time. When you're there, you feel closer to the stars. They look so clear and bright. I'd love to show you.
I look forward to it. I bet we'll even see some of the stars you taught me about.
And maybe I'll finally lay eyes on that constellation you told me about. A fishing rod, was it?
I want to see who Bernie's most associated with right now. Who is her closest ally? Okay. Yuri's third on the list. We're going to work to make sure that pairing does not happen. Ugh. Edelgard Bernadetta. Salt the earth. Alright, well that's...
Professor!
See how Bernie turns out with Yuritsa. I'm going to see Bernie and Yuritsa's support link.
Hey, Professor, something's been bothering me. Remember that suspicious guy I chased after back when I was a student? A knight scolded me for it, but at the time I really thought I was doing the right thing. Now that I've had more experience on the battlefield, though...
Now I get to see where Casper's B rank was locked behind the time skip, yeah.
I've been looking for you. There isn't much time, so I'll keep this brief. The knights encountered a band of brigands while out marching. It was hard fought, but we prevailed. Our soldiers are highly trained, but the enemy was formidable, and we weren't expecting combat. There were a number of casualties among our troops. Much appreciated, but there's a reason I need to bring this to your attention. The brigands all bore identical tattoos with a scorpion on their arms.
The scorpion tattoo.
Please, keep an eye out for that mark in the future.
Oh no.
Don't mention it. If you'll excuse me, I need to get back to my duties.
Heck of a coincidence, right? As soon as I mention that suspicious guy, this happens. But some of the knights died in combat. They died because of what I did 5 years ago. This is my fault.
No, let's be real. Knights were going to die in that combat no matter what. There's apparently a lot of them.
If I'd stayed quiet and tracked the guy down like you said, we would have stopped those brigands sooner. And I wouldn't have blood on my hands. But he probably wouldn't have. Now those knights, they're not coming back. We both know it. This is all my fault.
Well, that's a downer. All right, let's go down to Abyss. Hello, Yuritsa. Partially his fault, yeah.
Professor!
You gonna load in? There we go.
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. It's you. You're still alive. It's been 5 whole years, hasn't it? Time flies when you're standing guard. That's right, I've been here the whole time. Day in and day out. Like I have anywhere else.
Oh, he's got Imperial colors now.
The Imperial Army hasn't interfered with us all that much, so it's business as usual here in Abyss. I mean, as usual as it gets here anyhow.
Oh no. A lot of folks cleared out once the fighting started. People are saying it was the church that used to keep order around here. But it's Yuri who's saving us from complete chaos.
Alright, let's see what this guy has to say.
Need something?
Summon the Wayseer. He's still
This one?
And I need 950 more 950 more renown. Oh, nope. Right. It counts total, not individually.
This one?
There's the Shadow Library. New quests.
If you haven't heard, we'll soon be launching a full-scale assault on the Alliance. Her Majesty has searched relentlessly for you. Now that you're found, her moment has come. I think not. You were, it sounded to me, crucial to her plans. The stalemate we've been locked in shall give way very abruptly. We have your reappearance to thank for that.
Hey, pal. You've got a lot of nerve coming here after ignoring us for 5 years. Ha! Gotcha! All this time and you still can't take a joke, can you?
Nope, can't take a joke at all.
Good job surviving and clawing your way back to us. This day couldn't get better if it tried. Say, now that you're back, we should celebrate with some liquid gold. We're not your students anymore, so it should be fine, yeah? Oh, I like this idea. We'll make it a wild party. Even the Emperor won't be able to turn it down.
He teaches fists and faith, right? Alright, so the Wayseer is in the fortune teller room. Let's see what that's about. Right, I have a quest to do. Training bow, training lance plus, hexlock shield. Finally something. I guess I got a venom axe too.
I used to be a rather important person in the church, but I am in exile for committing a crime. I embezzled some money, but it wasn't out of greed. My hometown was pillaged, you see, and the church wasn't putting in enough to rebuild.
Is that... It is you, isn't it? I kind of forgot what you looked like.
Oh, thanks, Yuri.
I didn't mean any harm. It's just that so much has happened. It's hard to keep track, you know? Anyway, you came back, and that's what matters. Staying here wasn't a mistake.
Oh, I know how the teaching mechanic works with their talents and the things that they have a higher rank in the skill than me. I was just checking to see what he had. I guess I haven't advanced his healing.
This is okay. The Burt kept it safe out of the goodness of his heart. Kidding, of course.
Hubert, really?
He said the lowlives here could be useful, because they won't mind fighting dirty, or rooting out spies. Or something along those lines. I didn't pay much attention to that part. Yeah. Honestly, I'm psyched that you're back. It's all I can do to stop myself from whooping with joy. I could use your help.
Fortune teller recently set up shop in Abyss. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, why not drop by? Oh, this is the thing where you can lock in paired endings, isn't it? Divining Destinies. All of Happy's skill levels are lower than mine. Ha!
Why, hello.
Give some of your... I don't like your voice. Give some of your renown to the Wayseer, and she can tell you about the bonds between your allies. Strengthen bond. Analyze the prospective relationship between the selected pair and boost their support points. Does not work on pairs who are already very close. Connect fates. Foresee the destinies of a deeply bonded pair and either entwine them together or separate them from one another. Spend 10,000 renown to entwine or sever destinies. Jeez. And Happy starts smuggling watermelons. I mean, she's not got that big a rack.
Come back soon now.
It's just more highlighted than it was before.
Why, hello there.
500 renown to deepen this pair's bond. Do I wanna? Might as well try it out.
If it is your wish.
That's the one with melons, yeah.
Everything is within your grasp. Come back soon now.
Huh. It only did a little bit. Okay. There's nothing in this room. Interesting. Excuse me.
Thanks for giving me a hand.
So you talked to the Wayseer, huh? That kind of thing's not really for me. If you told me something good, I'd get my hopes up, and if you told me something bad, I'd get upset. But I'm glad you got something out of it. A net 300 renown.
Anyway, you can...
Yuri's skill level is also lower than my own. Alright, let's check out the library.
Professor!
Where's all the dialogue? Do I have to leave and come back? Alright, this isn't going to do anything, but I'm going to leave and come back. Oh, mission. Right. Here's to know how Bernie is doing.
I can't believe how long it's been since I left home. Since I was dragged out of the house, I mean. 5 whole years. It's weird to think about. At first, I remember I was desperate to go back, but now it's the opposite. I have friends here, and I have you. The monastery's become a second home to me. Back then, I never would have dreamed a day like this would come. It's all thanks to you. You've given me a second chance at life.
God, it's such a decision to make whether I want to marry Bernie or Petra.
If not for you, I never would have gotten used to leaving my room, let alone the monastery. Maybe the battlefields just dulled my senses. I'm much better with strangers and new places now, though. I don't panic nearly as much as before. A new place? All on my own?
That sounds like a tough assignment. Where did this come from all of a sudden? Hey, hold on. You're teasing me, aren't you?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Please don't joke around like that anymore. It's torture for me. You're still not taking me seriously. I mean it. Promise me you won't do that again. Friends respect each other's feelings, don't they? Good. I'll hold you to that. You're absolutely not allowed to send me out anywhere on my own. Got it? You would need to come with me. If you're with me, I can go anywhere in the world. No, that defeats the purpose. Why can't you get what I'm saying? I thought we were finally getting close. Guess I'm not good enough for that, though, am I?
Oh.
I'll let you have this one, but you better be ready for next time.
Way I could try to make the decision is to consider who has the better backup option. Yeah. Alright, Yuritsa, what do you got to say for yourself?
You've survived. How very fortunate. Were you dead, I wouldn't be able to fight you. But you are very much alive. Now I have a chance to kill you.
Okay, then. About what I expected. Still teach some stuff that I don't have ranks in. Wait, Yuritsa's a male romance option? Huh. Yeah, he did take the mask off.
For 5 years, I fought for the Empire. I've cut down hordes of enemies. Now I have the same look in my eyes that the boar used to have in his. The look of a savage beast who loves nothing but destruction and violence. I hope not.
You're not that far gone, Felix.
You and Edelgard must not disappoint me. Mark my words. The future you're building had better be worth all this bloodshed.
Can't learn anything from Felix. Sword tournament. Sword tournament this month. Face off against the Swords of Saros. Don't like Crimson Flower Felix? Kinda had to bend his character past the breaking point for this route? Face off against the Swords of Saros. Oh, wow, yeah, they didn't change that. Well, go for it, Petra. Oh, wow, 58 to hit. Not bad.
My heart burns with pride.
Oh, she can't double hit these guys to death. Oh, there we go.
I fight for justice's name. My heart burns with pride.
Good fucking bye.
Each battle a victory.
Now she gets hit. Yeah, Petra wins. Goodbye.
Each battle a victory.
Silver sword. She's got a silver sword plus. Does Yuri have? I almost don't want to use him anymore. I'm offended. The Crimson Flower characters have the advantage of having to have been designed to side against and with Edelgard without being recruited. So they're all written to work pretty smoothly either way, but a couple of characters have a rougher time fitting into certain routes. I guess I'll see how Felix works out.
Edelgard is controlling the Empire. She is putting the pressure on the Kingdom in alliance. Empire and religion are at open war. It will be difficult for us at first.
What, the last 5 years haven't been difficult?
But corrupt nobles are many. That means the common people will rebel and be joining our side. With you, Professor, the battle tides will turn. I have certainty.
Axe, bow, flight. Another one right outside my door.
Professor.
Ash!
Oh, hey, Professor. Actually, I ran into that thief while I was shopping just now.
Did he turn over a new leaf?
Maybe you don't remember. It's been quite a while. The man who stole the book from that market stall. I saw him on the street with his kid. They were both so grateful. It's a really nice feeling.
Glad it all worked out.
Yeah, but it did seem like they were still having trouble getting by. I guess what you said to me back then was right. My actions didn't really solve the problem. I can't help everyone, no matter how much I try. If I had the money or power, maybe. But I don't.
You get there, no need to rush.
You know, a long time ago, Leonardo said nearly the same thing to me. I think it was when I tried to look after the horses all on my own. I really messed that up. He said, "You're not quite ready for this yet, but there's no need to rush." I know I can't help very many people right now.
You are only like 22.
But I think doing what I can for those I see in front of me is still worthwhile. I have to believe that, at least. Thanks. That's reassuring to hear. What about you, Professor? Has anything been troubling you lately? I'd be happy to help, as long as it's not looking after horses. You might not want to trust me with that. I genuinely enjoy helping people. It's a great feeling making someone smile. So if there's anything I can do for you, I want to do it, because I care about you. You think so? It's just what anyone would do, really. So what'll it be? How can I help? I'm happy to, if that's what you'd like.
Oh, I think that's the library quest.
If you don't mind.
Oh, it's you!
I have a favor to ask.
It seems a list of rare books that the Church of Seros does not make publicly available has turned up in Abyss. If you could somehow get your hands on that list. Go to Abyss and search for the list of rare books. Once you found the list, you should consider visiting the archives in Abyss. You may discover new information you wouldn't normally be able to find. Banned books. Interesting. Let's go back to Abyss.
Hello. Hi.
Just find out everything Seth doesn't want you to know, yeah. Oh, it's just in the library. A list of books thought to have been removed from the monastery library. What could they contain? Report to the requester. I have to go all the way back to her? Excuse me. Can't get over Yuri Bernie. That's such a terrible thing. There's so many things about this DLC that I dislike. Hey, another one's right here. Oh, Hubert.
Professor. Nice place, isn't it, Professor?
Excuse me.
Here you can almost feel the goddess's absence.
Okay.
Discounting what dwells within you, of course. Do you think some punishment would rain down from the sky if this monastery were to be destroyed? Of course not. Even if the so-called Immaculate One came back here for revenge.
You walked out of your room and 6 people marched up, said Professor in perfect unison, and walked away.
That would only be a result of this war, not the work of a deity. If it is between love and hate, then I would choose the latter. The goddess failed to properly govern this.
Sothis disliked that.
That is why it is necessary for Lady Edelgard to become the supreme leader of Fodlan. Those with power must use it wisely. Is that not a teaching of the Church of Seros? It's absurd to preach to others what you cannot practice yourself. That is logical, but I am afraid your logic is informed by your humanity. That is not the case for inhuman creatures with lifespans well beyond our own.
Ooh, throwing some shade at Flame there.
We must fight to preserve what makes us human. You are the one closest to the enemy. I wonder if you will be able to maintain your humanity to the end.
Wow, okay.
You make it sound easy. I find myself trusting you, even with my life. I've already dedicated my life to Lady Edelgard. To throw my lot in with you is inconceivable. But if I had 2 lives to give, I might devote one of them to you.
Wow, and he's not romanceable as a male?
Not as master and servant, but as equal partners.
You telling me Hubert is not a gay option? Wow. Thank you. Here, I've made a copy. Perhaps the books included in the list will be of use to you as well. I wonder what you'll find if you search the archives in Abyss. Mail options, particularly in the base game, are one of the ways this game is definitely lacking. Yeah, it's... Lionheart... It's Lionheart is the only mail option in the base game. Wow. That is something.
Right.
Alois has an S rank, but he's happily married, isn't he? So it's just a totally bros ending. Oh, Minda, you missed some shit. Hi, by the way. Have you seen Bernadetta and Yuri's A rank? Now we can read! Letter to a mysterious noble. My beloved, you were right. It seems he would not hesitate to divide the house. What's more, I hear he's considering taking his half of the territory and joining the kingdom. I can't believe he would even consider dragging another region into this, not to mention stirring up trouble over his inheritance at a time when the Alliance desperately needs to unite. He's clearly out of his mind. Though he bears a major crest and you a minor crest, your father was wise in his attempts to declare you his heir. As it were, I can't help but wonder what your intentions with me are. I am drowning in letters proposing marriage to that beast. He may share your face, but the resemblance ends there. I refuse to marry such a foul creature. If you don't come to me soon, I am going to you. Don't forget that my father's blessing could be revoked at any moment. I will depart Deirdre at the end of the lone moon. You had better be prepared for my arrival. I wish to marry you beneath the garland moon. Why? Well, I am a woman after all, and even I harbor dreams of being a garland bride. Understood? Great. Make it so. Claudia, second daughter of House Regan. Is that Claude's mom? Yuri being complicated is not the issue, yeah. The issue is that Count Varley... The issue is not that Count Varley did a good thing. The issue is not that Count Varley did a good thing. It's that it's framed as Bernadetta should be more grateful to her father than she is. And that's a problem. That's horrible. Considering what he's done to her. And I was just right before the Yuri Bernie support. I saw one that might have been last night, actually. I can't remember. But that where she casually mentions that he hits her, or he hit her. Feels very much like a Japanese cultural thing. Yeah. If you watch Balthus and Claude support, you find out Claude's mom's name. This is about House Galatea splitting from House Daphnel. Ah. A scrap of paper is stuck between the pages of a book. It appears to be incredibly old. Moose meat. Albinian moose is preferable. If unavailable, beef or horse meat may be substituted, though the dish's unique flavor will be somewhat altered. Goddess Messenger. Be sure to skin, gut, and clean the fish before use. Xanadu treasure fruit. While difficult to obtain, it is well worth the effort. If necessary, boa fruit may be substituted. Seasoning and spices. Adrestian rock salt, herbs of Fargus, and honey of Leicester are strongly recommended. This is a special dish prepared for the new emperor at ceremonies. Though its ingredients are extremely rare, making it rather expensive, chefs must restrain themselves from sneaking bites during preparation. That does not give me a new recipe, so I guess it's there because of the Japanese cultural fetish for food in video games? The Feast of Decadence. The Seventh Song. Banquet celebrating the marriage of the young Emperor Lycaon III continued until the full moon waned to a half moon. The waitstaff scurried about the castle refilling golden glasses. All present savored the taste of the fine Bacchus from Boromos, as well as the screams of the northern swordsmen as they were torn apart by wild beasts during the countless dishes on the banquet tables were each overflowing with spectacular offerings. Treats themed after the four saints graced massive platters, just waiting for our greedy fingers to snatch them up. In honor of Saint Keyhole, guardian of the land, prime Gronder wheat was used to bake endless loaves of delectable bread. In honor of Saint Sethleen, savory fish was presented, a dish she is believed to have loved. Recipe is the biggest question mark in the entire library, yeah. When the clown dressed as Saint Seros decapitated the criminal dressed as Nemesis with a single swing, the spectators cheered with unbridled enthusiasm. A young man, staring at Emperor Wilhelm as he caught the saint and pulled her into a close embrace, suddenly beckoned me. He pressed his lips to my ear and whispered sweet nothings, mirroring Emperor Wilhelm and Saint Seros upon the stage. The date of removal and Seteth's signature follow. It appears to be a novel set in the Adrestian Empire. It has sustained great damage, so nothing else is legible. Huh. Words of Love. Table of Contents. How to Compliment a Lover. The Art of Seduction. The Myth of True Love's Singularity. Gifting Saint Sethleen's Love Garland. Alone Time and Greeting the Dawn. The date of removal and Seteth's signature follow. It seems this was briefly part of the monastery's library, but all pages are missing save the table of contents. Burnt remnants of a report. Burned papers that resemble a report of some sort. A few passages survived the fire and are still legible. Item 18, Part 5. The Fargus Rebellion. I harbor doubts about the army Lug has raised. How did he recruit soldiers without raising suspicions in the Empire? How did he acquire those mysterious weapons, so like heroes' relics? What is the true identity of Pan, the tactician rumored to have been integral to Lug's victories? And those who slither in the dark. Ooh. Item 22, Part 2. The Shadowed Order of the Knights of Seros believe that King Klaus I of Fargus was assassinated. Everyone believes that his will, which demands the territory be divided among the three princes and fails to name a successor, is a fake. The purpose was likely to involve the Leicester region and display a greater military force than the Empire. This was ages ago. Oh yeah, I remember they nerfed one of Bernie's stories about being abused to make it seem less bad. Yeah. Item 49, Part 18, The Tragedy of Dusker, after which more members of the Western Church are strongly criticizing the Central Church. Among them are those who claim the incident in Dusker was the work of the Shadowed Order of the Knights of Seros. It seems a confrontation over the dogma's legitimacy is inevitable. Soon, the Child of House Gaspar. Child of House Gaspar. I can't remember who that is. Item 51, Part 6. Son of the Alliance's leader, Duke Oswald Regan, has died in an accident. This follows an incident involving the previous successor, and even the Knights of Seros suspect it was at Count Gloucester's command, though it seems too conspicuous. There is some concern that this could spark a war. With Duke Regan gravely ill, the situation is... Ash's adoptive big bro. Gotcha. Encyclopedia of Fodlan's Insects. This book's title does not match its contents, suggesting a false cover. It seems to be a catalog of some kind. Distance Viewer, based on glasses. By combining glasses lenses, one can view great distances with enhanced clarity. Crafting such a tool was forbidden by decree of the Archbishop for the following reasons. 1. The ease of locating enemy camps would escalate wartime violence. 2. It would be too easy to snipe from afar. 3. It would lessen the mystery of the goddess who watches from above, Rhea. Ugh. Flammable black water. A sticky black liquid was discovered in northern Fargus. It burns fiercely and emits a highly toxic gas. The use of this wicked substance was forbidden by decree of the Archbishop for the following reasons. 1. Misuse could result in accidental death. 2. It could be used tactically by those lacking magical ability. 3. Competition for it could cause strife. Rhea was suppressing scientific advancement, yeah. Theory is that the Bernie abuse nerf happened because the devs started writing Yuri's backstory. Oh, I suppose that could be it. They've discovered industrialization. Final Fantasy Magitech around the corner. It's not napalm, it's oil. They wanted to try to repaint Count Varley as quote-unquote morally gray, and it just falls very flat. Yeah. Metal mold printing machine. Though initially lauded as a practical replacement for woodblock printing, after careful consideration, the Archbishop deemed it taboo for many reasons, particularly the following. 1. Risk of mass circulation of misinformation and malevolent rumors. 2. It is useless to illiterate commoners. 3. Risk of intensifying disparity between church branches. What the fuck, Rhea? Suppress it. It is useless to illiterate commoners. What the fuck, Rhea? Human autopsies, especially involving head or chest incisions. Though it is widely believed that this is medically relevant, such actions upon a corpse are considered desecration of the dead. Since white magic can be used to a similar end, autopsies were deemed taboo. A notable cardinal asserted that if medical science were to excel over faith-based white magic, it would destabilize the foundation of the church. Are you able to find this one in the other routes? I suppose if that was napalm and not oil. Edelgard Luther got some objections to this shit. Man, suppressing the printing press is shitty. Romance of the World's Perdition. In the land of Tynus, where the old gods are said to live, the false god has awakened. Its looming heteromorphic vessel was resurrected to sink the world to the depths of the ocean. It will bring extinction to all children of men, and salvation to all beasts of the land, sky, and sea. For the children of men who spilled too much of the blood of life, it promises only cruel retribution. The false god must be defeated before the world sinks into a watery grave. To this end, the children of men have erected pillars of light upon the land. Thinis, Malum, Septon, and Liam were utterly destroyed. Those lands have vanished from this world. Yet even still the false god stands, and soon a flood aptly named Despair will drown this world. Oh, the false god is, Sothis. The children of men fled to the depths of the earth, beyond the sight of the false god, beyond the embrace of the sacred sun, and beyond the reach of the waters of despair. They swore a fervent oath of revenge against the surface world, ruled by beasts, and against their tormentor, the false god. The truth of the hero's relics. I, a priest of blank, the findings of my investigation. When a crest stone was removed while its relic was being wielded by all movement within the relic ceased. When the stone was returned, the relic once again. It is beyond question that crest stones supply their associated relic with power of some kind, and the impetus of said power is clearly related to the crests that certain humans possess. Based on the composition of, it can be surmised that, likely a massive creature akin to a wyvern. Oh, that's why the relics look so fucked up. They're bones taken from their dragon forms. However, strength is beyond comparable to that of wyvern bones. They are more durable than all materials other than crucible steel, making them ideal for crafting weaponry, and absolutely inhabiting difficult to conceive, but one theory, it is possible that the goddesses have potentially. Heroes' relics have been found that are not linked to the 10 elites. The 10 elites. Could it be that others were gifted this power by the goddess as well? Perhaps the disturbing that the relics were not gifts from the goddess. Additionally, the same crest stones. Many of my hypotheses. I am desperate to find the truth of it all. The time has come. I must discard. I dare say the goddess would not wish for me to learn more than I already have. The pages are old and worn, so most of the text is illegible. Man, this lends the sinister to Rhea, even in other routes. Interesting that they let you see this in other routes. Blank 15, Islel Forest. It has been several months since King Nemesis was defeated, and the tides of war have turned from bad to worse. I have received news that my friend Daphnel has fallen as well. Those zealots are after our heads, and those of our leaders. All that is left for us is to disappear into the muddy waters Seiros has created. My long life may soon come to an end. Blank 2, Etho Plains. I somehow escaped with my life, but I fear the end is near. Most of my clan has already surrendered to the Empire. To my surprise, I am told their safety was guaranteed. I, however, am a different matter. My life, along with my sacred weapon, will unquestionably be forfeit. My dear son and daughter, I hope you can forgive me one day. Blank 5 blank. Why does Seiros despise us so? What did King Nemesis do to incur such unyielding wrath? Perhaps it was a mistake to accept his offer. In any case, that is all in the distant past now. And before this body falls to ash, the evil... The paper is tattered, so the rest is illegible. Stuff like this is why it bugs me that you can't turn against Rhea in the other routes. Like, you don't even have to side with Edelgard and Blue Lions, but you should at least be able to tell Rhea to take a hike. Yeah. I feel more justified for being so creeped out by her. Mysteries of the Calendar, Volume 2. Much time has passed since the Imperial Calendar was adopted. In the prior calendar, the year began with what we now call the Guardian Moon and ended with the Ethereal Moon. Back then, the 12 lunar phases were exclusively referred to as months. They came to be known as moons with our current calendar system. Though the prior names of the months are lost, it is known that Guardian Moon was often shorted to the number 1, Pegasus Moon to the number 2, and so on until Ethereal Moon, the 12th and final month. Though inelegant, this was a practical system that apparently served the people of the time well. There is no way of knowing when the old calendar was created. Any attempt to trace its origins leads only to the era of the gods and more unanswered questions. All we know for certain is that the calendar has existed for a nearly incomprehensible length of time. To change a civilization's calendar would inevitably cause great confusion and unrest. Why, then, did Emperor Wilhelm, the first leader of Adrestia, choose to abandon the original calendar in favor of the imperial calendar? Historians have identified several possible reasons for such a drastic measure, including narcissism and a need to mark one's mark upon history. I botched that goof horribly. 1. The influence of the Church of Seiros. The names of the imperial calendar's moons and the associated lore behind them are intimately related to the tenets and saints of the Church of Seiros. It is highly probable that basing the new calendar on the teachings of Seiros was Emperor Wilhelm's attempt to spread those beliefs on a much wider scale and help legitimize the Church. If this is the case, it is further proof that the Adrestian Empire has close ties to the Church of Seiros from the very moment of its inception. Alternatively, it has been posited that the goddess herself wished to change the calendar and voiced this desire through the prophet Seiros. I'm sure Seiros said that. This would mean that Emperor Wilhelm simply implemented the change rather than originating it. 2. Asserting authority. Calendars represent the flow of time, and so creating a new one is akin to claiming dominion over time itself. Shortly after its founding, the Empire used its influence to establish a new calendar and retroactively proclaim its founding year as Year 1. Amid the unification of Fodlan, this move increased imperial authority and heralded the start of a new era. Oh, is that everything? Damn. Well, that was interesting. Learning that Seiros has been suppressing scientific expansion is even more disturbing. All right, let's see if there's somebody lined up outside my my room again. Yep, somebody's right outside my door.
Professor.
Lysithia.
Thank you for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead. I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay?
Whoops.
I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I clearly was. I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time. 18 years ago, House Ordelia was involved in a civil conflict within the Empire.
Wait, she's only 20.
All we did was respond to a call for aid. We weren't involved politically. But once the rebellion was crushed, my family was held responsible for the aid we gave, and the Empire gained some sway over us as a result. At the time, the noble houses of the Alliance took a passive stance. No one lent aid to my family. As a result, some key officials within the family were killed, and people from the Empire were sent to replace them. Among those people were some mysterious mages. They were unsettling, in a word. Skin pale as death. One after another.
She was only like 3 or 4 when this happened. I thought she was a little older than that.
They began performing terrible rituals on the children. Though it's probably more accurate to call them experiments. With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, till the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this. A shock of white hair, all trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that 2 crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most, perhaps less. Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass.
Too soon to give up.
It's not like what's been done to me can be undone.
It actually is like that, considering what Lionheart and Hanneman do.
Professor, the only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crest.
Oh no, you're still a tactical nuke, Lysithea. Don't worry. I don't think your crest actually matters that much to your combat utility. Well, let's use Thyrsus.
You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor.
Excuse me. Yeah, oh man, you missed the library adder, sorry.
Professor!
We learned that Rhea has suppressed the printing press.
Hey!
Hate her for that. There is somebody upstairs.
My father used to be a knight in service of the royal family of Fargus. For a time he was at the monastery, but apparently he's back in Fargus serving as a knight again. Which means, if I fight with this army, I'll eventually have to face my own father. Don't say that. I know what I'm doing, and I'm ready for anything. Of course, if at all possible, I would prefer not to fight my father.
Don't worry, I'm not bringing you to battle. Yeah, the New Game Plus crest items is a break from the lore, but it's a cool mechanic for just being New Game Plus stuff.
This is the path I chose. I have no regrets. This is the path
Just reason.
My adoptive father sent me here so our family name would be known. He doesn't care which side wins, the Empire or the Alliance. However, even if he tells me to come home, I intend to stay.
Good for you.
I want to see this new world Edelgard dreams of.
There's another one standing outside my door. In Path of Radiance, you can bring Jill into the battle against her father, Sheriam. If her support isn't high enough, she'll defect. Interesting. I read that those who slither in the dark are behind Luke's rebellion and the assassination that resulted in the Alliance being created. Yeah. So they've been manipulating things for a long time. Alright, let's see how many plants have grown in 5 years. 3 carrots, 3 Noah fruit, and a bunch of berries. Great harvest. 10 out of 10.
Professor! Oh my, it's so good to see you. These days, so many old friends seem to be disappearing. But you're here. It's incredible to see you again after 5 years. I have a feeling your name will go down in history.
Sure will.
Hello.
Oh, Mercedes.
Do you have a moment, Professor? I need to speak with you. Thank you so much. This is what I wanted to address. This letter from my adoptive father just arrived. Oh, have I not mentioned him? He's the reason I first came to the Officers Academy.
Oh, she cut her hair.
He's also the one who dragged me from the church where I was living, just so he could use my crest. My crest does not yet belong to a house, so he plans to use it as leverage to marry into the nobility.
Joke's on him. I think you've grown a spine, haven't you? Or... Okay, that came out wrong. It's not like she had a choice as a child, but she was, what, 23 when the story started?
He's a very greedy man who was a roving merchant before adopting me, but now he's in the capital. This letter says that he's finally arranged to marry me off to a wealthy noble. I know he's just thinking of himself, but can't he see that this isn't a priority when we're at war? I suppose it's possible. He may be worried about carrying on his bloodline, but...
But you're adopted. He wouldn't be carrying on his bloodline.
I don't know what to do about this proposal. I can't see any way around it, so I fear that I'm...
No, tell him to go to hell.
I just don't want to let go of the life that I've made for myself. I know it's not what my heart wants, but I don't have the strength to say no.
We'll back you up, Mercedes.
I believe I've mentioned this before, but I want to work in service of the church. Well, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to be the church, but I want to help those in need. If I were to marry a noble, I think it would be difficult to realize that dream. It's just...
What'd your housemates do, Adder?
I've always allowed myself to follow the whims of those above me. I convinced myself that everything in life was at the will of the goddess. I was blind to reality. I believed it was her will to both pull me from the church and guide me to the Officers Academy. The decision to enter this war was the first time I acted of my own free will. My adoptive father opposed this decision, but I somehow managed to convince him. Still, I couldn't free myself of him completely. This letter is proof of that. It's not that I'm scared of him, but there is something that worries me.
Oh, they dragged you away for stupid shit so you weren't here to talk library stuff? Yeah.
I knew you'd understand, Professor. I've sat down to write a reply several times, but I can't muster up the courage or the words. I was hoping you could provide me with the encouragement.
Hell yes.
That's a very good point. We're only given one life,
So we must do all we can to pursue our happiness. Okay. I think that may have been just the push I was looking for. I'll tell him the truth. That I found a life worth pursuing, and I must decline the proposal.
Good for you, Mercedes.
Maybe I should tell him I've fallen for someone else. Why, it's you, Professor. Isn't that obvious?
Alright, that's the most forward I've seen.
I'm just teasing. Now I'm off to write this.
Oh, right, I can't take a joke.
Thank you for your encouragement.
Mercedes is a buy option, isn't she? Yeah.
A moment, please. By making an enemy of the church, disorder is running rampant among the populace. It's quieted down over these last 5 years, though. The well-being of Her Majesty is steadily improving.
Professor? Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. What's that? Do I have brothers in the church? You really are well informed. My older twin works for the Knights of Theros, but I think he's just a grunt, not a noble gatekeeper like yours truly. Unlike me, he's very devout. He left the Empire a long time ago.
Blend.
Hello there.
Buy the bait.
This one, yes? I think this one, yes? I thank you. Return soon, please.
Hey, welcome. Come again.
Oh wait, that isn't the same gatekeeper. Wait, isn't it?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. What's that? Do I have brothers in the church? You really are well informed. My older twin works for the Knights of Theros, but I think he's just a grunt, not a noble gatekeeper like yours truly. Unlike me, he's very devout.
Oh, I took he's just a grunt and not a gatekeeper at face value, I guess. Well, that's sad.
Really now? There's unrest everywhere these days. All of my fellow merchants seem to be endangered. I hope things go back to normal soon. People need more to smile about, aside from my great deals. Hey,
It seems... Oh, it's just trade secrets again.
there's unrest. I hope things...
Can interpret it either way, I guess. I guess I'll see in the coming months. Constance, don't be in the daylight. Don't be in the daylight. Don't be in the daylight. Thank God. Explosion.
Another failure. Oh, was there an error in my calculations? I had precious few materials as things stood. Where will I get more once these run out? Oh, don't act so rueful. You carried out my directions faithfully. Neither the credit nor the blame ought to be yours. My grand achievement is further away than I had hoped. House Nouvelle's future seems so dim. You're correct, of course. I mustn't be discouraged. It is hard to maintain one's patience after 5 years. But in the greater context of the history of House Nouvelle, 5 years is barely worth counting.
Is this realistically disappointed Constance? Yeah, you guys keep asserting that she's at an opposite polar extreme when she's in shade. To an unrealistic degree, and I think she's just kind of full of herself. Being realistic about things sometimes is perfectly within the character as written.
I have been in a low place indeed to require so much reassurance. And for your reassurance, I am truly grateful. You have spurred me to continue my research. You've been useful to me in many ways, in fact. Research assistant, confidant, test subject. All of this is preparing you well for your greater role to come.
Which is your husband? Is that what it is?
My personal attendant.
Oh.
There are few as naturally servile as you in all
It's
of Beaumont.
naturally servile, okay.
When House Nouvelle is at long last restored, we simply must find the proper position for you. Granted, this will be difficult, perhaps even impossible to accept, given your current status. But I rarely let the impossible stop me.
And that's what I like about you, Constance.
I shall see it all done. The restoration of my house, installing you as my servant, and more.
She'll find many positions for you, most of them under her.
Are you ready for the next steps? Oh, come now. My sulk ended minutes ago. Do keep up. But on the rare occasion that I find myself at a loss, I grant you permission to lift my spirits. I don't know that I care for the hint of resignation in your tone, but no matter. I expect you to do your all for the sake of my house nonetheless.
That was an A rank.
There were clashes with the Kingdom Army near the Western Front, but this is the first time the Alliance Army has had an honest-to-goodness fight. I hear their leader's pretty competent, but the Alliance Army is pretty tough too.
Oh, the Alliance and the Kingdom are fighting. Flesh! I don't remember you.
Ah, a new face. I am Randolph von Bergleys.
You don't remember me, huh?
I'm the guardian of this place. Wait a moment. I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, yes. You're Her Majesty's professor. You're alive? Oh, this is my little sister, Fleisch. She's just a rookie, but she's helping me as my assistant.
Hello, I'm Fleisch von Bergleys. It's nice to meet you. I know I'm inexperienced, but I'm gonna do my best. You can count on me to look after my big brother.
I've heard you're planning to march into Alliance territory. I'll be here to guard the fort.
Well, that's cute.
Maybe.
Raph!
Hey, Professor. What have you been up to for 5 years? Hope you haven't gone soft. I got myself into perfect shape. Took all 5 years of pushing my muscles to the limit. But look!
I don't see a difference.
You bet I do. You gotta get training if you want to catch up.
What's that look on your face? Surprised to see me? I'm a mercenary. Always have been. Even when I was with the Knights of Saros. I never was too attached to Fodlan. I was considering leaving soon. But I might change my mind if you're around.
Well, I'm back, so you're sticking around, even though I'm not going to use you at all.
Okay.
Hey, Bernie.
Are we leaving for battle? I heard it's a long march. But it's fine. I've had plenty of time to stay inside lately, so I think it's time I run out. Yeah, I can do this. No more Bernie Bear.
Bernie Bear?
Yeah. People call me Bernie Bear since I hole up in my den all the time. Not anymore, though.
That's cute. I don't think I'm ever going to call her that, but that's cute. Dorothea.
This may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor. That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with. Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way. Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger?
Of course.
I was an orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Mittelfrank Opera Company.
I'm imagining dirty, scrappy street orphan Dorothea now.
Performers, nobility. I met so many people, but none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing, a spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice, and they showered me with gifts, I knew one day I'd be old. My looks would fade, my voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started.
Excuse me.
That's sweet of you, even if you are just flirting. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me. Someone unaware of the songstress, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist.
It's a shame there are two romanceable women that have higher priority than Dorothea just within her own house. Though I gotta say, Marianne, Lysithea, Leone, I think the Black Eagle women are the top of my list for the women. Balthus!
I see. By any means necessary, then. Before the war's end. I'm covered, but just to be safe, I need you to check on my mother and Kupala. Still following me, huh? We have got to work on those manners, pal. Unless you really meant that bit about protecting me. That's where my mom was born and raised. I pay a spy money I don't have to keep an eye on the place. Whether I'm above the dirt or below it, it's up to me to make sure my stepmother can't get to my mom.
Oh yeah, that happened.
No doubt about it. She's been honing her crazy plans lately. All because I've taken to fighting at your side. She thinks I'm making a name for myself before my glorious return to House Albrecht. Being delusional is her sport. There's little advantage to her going after my mom, but she's unpredictable. Gotta stay vigilant. Guess I haven't talked about her.
After her and my pop split, she returned home. Where she's from, it's kind of an odd place.
Yeah? Tell me about it.
You know the folks who live in the mountains of the Alliance? Guessing that's a no. Few do. Imagine a place with no influence to speak of. Nestled in the mountains on the Almyran border. That's Kupala. Well, they're not mountain goats. And it's not like they never interact with the Lords of the Alliance. They're incredibly isolated, though. Even their trade relations are remarkably limited. Doubt that'll change. The land lacks resources worth fighting over. Probably for the best, honestly. Oh, but back to my mom. She was different. An exception to the rule in Kupala. She left the mountains, was rescued by my dad, and fell madly in love with him. Ah, the 1 million bullion question. Of course not, he's a noble. She isn't. Acceptance was never in the cards. My birth helped matters, but only a little. House Albrecht just wasn't where she belonged. My dad was in a tough spot. He was obligated to marry a fellow noble and produce a fitting heir. Nobody'd want to live out their days where they're utterly unwelcome. So my mom returned to Kupala.
That's a shame.
Then it happened. I was enrolled in the Officers' Academy at Garrick Mach. And everything changed. During my enrollment examination, they discovered that I bear the major crest of Chevalier. My dad decided to resist his family's wishes and make me the head of the house after I graduated. Thing is, the truth of my special crest was kept a secret, by decree of the church. We couldn't tell anyone about my prized bloodline, so I was forced to step down as the legitimate heir. It was for the best. My crest was inherited from mountain folk who prefer to keep to themselves. Imagine what would happen to Kupala if it got out. We both know it would destroy their way of life.
People will do anything for a rare crest. There's a reason Edelgard's so sympathetic.
Too true. I'm guessing the church thought my crest would cause trouble in Fodlan. But don't get me wrong. No matter what life's thrown at me, I'm no victim. Like I've said, I prefer it this way. I've got to be free. Even if things were different, I'd still choose this life. But I can't let my mother and her people pay the price for keeping peace at Fodlan. Wouldn't be right. All I can do is make a name for myself in battle and secure enough power to protect them. Failure isn't an option.
It's a shame he has to deal with that, but good on him for taking care of her.
Professor!
Manuela.
After the battle 5 years ago, the Imperial Army occupied Garrick Mach. The cathedral and several other buildings were destroyed, but we've done some repair work here and there, and we're using the buildings as a base of operations. As for me, well, the church moved its headquarters to Fargus, and I've seen no reason to follow. When I returned to Enbar, I received a summons from Her Majesty, and I chose to answer.
I mean, you sided with me during the conflict before. I can't imagine Rhea would accept you back. I'm gonna sing with Yuritsa. He's gonna hate it. He's gonna hate it.
I almost forgot how to sing.
I hope this song reaches the goddess's ears.
I was so surprised to hear that the faith of Saros was a sham, my eyes nearly popped out of my skull. But just because the church lied to us doesn't mean that the goddess isn't real. That's my take on it, anyway. I feel very anxious with no one to pray to.
Not the best response, but I'll take it. Very anxious to have someone to pray to. Ugh.
Since you came back, everyone's been smiling. Just you being here makes an incredible difference. I can't express how reassuring it is to see you.
Let's go upstairs.
Maybe. Oh.
Just because the church lied to us doesn't mean that God isn't real is not the part of that I was taking issue with. That's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. Anxiety with having nobody to pray to is... Oh, you've taken up residence here, Edelgard.
Professor, I'm sorry to have dragged you into the fight again so soon after our reunion. But you appeared at a most opportune time. I'm truly humbled by your support, my teacher. Thank you. And so I will. I'm hoping your abilities from 5 years prior are still intact. Make sure you're ready to head out, okay?
Oh, Hubert, you have the quest for me.
Allow me to brief you on the details of our situation. The Empire firmly controls the western portion of Fargus. However, the central and eastern regions continue to put up heavy resistance. The strongholds in these regions are Aryan Road, the fortress city, and Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. We cannot control Fargus until we have taken both of these cities. As for the Alliance, Houses Gloucester and Ordelia seem predisposed to capitulate to us. However, due to interference from Houses Regan and Goneril, we have yet to secure their cooperation. Claude obviously hopes to keep the Alliance whole through diplomacy. But because we have had to focus our efforts against the Church until now, our forces have yet to meet his. We have only recently begun to take the fight to Alliance territory.
I mean, you'd think you'd finish absorbing the kingdom first. Fighting a war on two fronts isn't the best idea.
I have a request for you.
To assist us in securing more resources. Supply run. There's a perfectly good Pope office with no one to use it, yeah.
Well...
Still says Seth's office, despite everything that's happened. Lionheart.
Professor, do you know how happy I was to hear you were still alive? I'll tell you how happy. For the past 2 days, I haven't had my morning or my afternoon naps. Well, as long as we weren't marching. Can't sleep much then. But it's not for want of trying.
You finally joined us, have you? I attached myself to the Imperial Army as well. Seemed the thing to do.
If you could class anybody into Death Knight Lionheart, yeah.
I feel I owe it to Edelgard to set my past feelings about the Empire aside. I am happy to help them.
I should see if I can change Yuritsa's battle costume.
It's strange, isn't it?
No, he's mounted. It overrides things.
Professors are together once more. I am most curious, though. You say you were asleep for 5 whole years. Incredible. Perhaps this is another effect of your crest. I do look forward to investigating you in greater detail. Wonderful news. I am most excited to begin. We must find the time, of course.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right. It's normal for history to be revised in favor of those who hold the power. The documents in this library are no exception. It's perfectly possible for someone to have made edits to them.
You ain't kidding.
But it's my belief that no one has the power to blot out the truth entirely. I like to read the same texts over and over again. That way, I can spot some of the truths hidden between the lines.
Don't worry, Adder. I think the only thing of note you've missed was singing with Yuritsa, which wasn't interesting. I've just been running around talking to people.
I'm so glad to see you're all right. I really regretted not being able to keep the promise I made to my mentor. Captain Gerald told me that if anything should happen to him, then I should stick by you. I'm going to do just what he asked. I'll be right here to support you from now on.
Favors black armor. Oh, and I could go upstairs now. Scholar man, have you heard of our Abyss Library? Mostly fuming from getting pulled away during the part you were waiting for? Yeah. That sucks, man. There's nobody up here to talk to. Nothing interesting to find. But yeah, learning that Rhea has been suppressing the printing press really disturbs me.
You might be at the monastery. That's why I made my way here. I decided to follow your path because I believed in you. Then you vanished. Now that you've returned, I have my guiding light once again. Welcome back, Professor.
Wait, if you didn't know I was still alive, why did you think I was going to be here?
Leave it to me. I can take on the whole, most of the enemy's army.
Yeah, really managing expectations there, Casper.
I know my limits now, Professor. All right.
Axe and fists. What would it be like to have a brawler Byleth?
Hey, Professor. It's been a really long time, hasn't it? The last 5 years have been full of heartbreak. Not from girls, but friends and family becoming enemies. One of the things that kept me going was the hope you'd return. And now here you are. A lot has changed, but you're back. And it's the first time I can remember being happy in a while.
Fem brawler Byleth win. Maybe I'll do that during Blue Lions.
House Gloucester will remain staunchly neutral in this war, even if we press into Alliance territory. My father is no threat to the Empire. Lady Edelgard surely understands that. The Great Bridge of Myrden, however, is another story. I hear it is held by Judith of House Daphno. She is renowned for her military prowess. You would do well not to underestimate her.
You've got Lance and Reason, right? And Horse. Oh, that's what Ingrid looks like now.
Apologies for bothering you so late.
You cut your hair.
I just really wanted to speak with you. Thank you. You see, I've been feeling conflicted about my future. It may seem petty to worry about such things in the middle of a war like this.
You have a good look for a Pegasus Knight. That's her canon class, right?
This isn't something I open up about with many people. Feeling such a sense of inner turmoil while a war rages on, and others are fighting with all they have, well, it feels a little selfish. The truth is, I've wanted to be a knight ever since I was a small child. Not just any knight, like one you might find serving within the castle guard, but a true knight, one serving a master. However, my father has always had different plans for me. He wants me to marry, for the benefit of the Galatea family. Defying my father feels wrong. I've seen how he struggled over the years.
Only you can decide your life, Ingrid.
His burden has always been far greater than any...
Later, Adder. Thanks for coming. Sorry you missed the cool thing.
While he fed me extravagant meals, he subsisted on meager portions and watered-down soups. He never once complained, even though he must have been starving.
That's weird. He could have had some of the food.
Knowing his sacrifices, I've never been able to tell him of my dream of becoming a knight. Although ultimately, I find myself betraying his wishes. Now that I've parted ways with my father, there is nothing to stop me from pursuing my dream.
She's accepting of the... That's a line specific to this route, I think.
But even if I do become a knight, I feel an unease deep within me. I fear I will never escape this guilt I carry. That I have shunned my duty as a noble. Yes, I know. All I can do is accept this inner turmoil. Even with the academy days long behind us, you're still a professor through and through. Always listening to others' troubles and offering up your wisdom. I really am grateful for all that you do for us, Professor. I hope you'll always be here as a guide to everyone. I know I myself would appreciate that deeply.
Good for her. Ferdy.
The last 5 years have been difficult at times. My relationship with Edelgard is rather contentious, due to the incident with my father.
Yeah, but your father was an asshole.
Nevertheless, I cannot abandon my family's duties. As Duke Eyre, I must play my part in the Imperial Army. Edelgard intends to abolish the nobility, but I know I can dissuade her from doing so.
Yeah, sure you can. Sure you can, Ferdy. That's definitely an aspiration you could hold.
Within the territories of the Alliance, the Gloucester and Daphne houses dominate the West. House Gloucester has always supported the Empire. There's not much chance of them defying us. So all that needs to be done to restore peace in the West now is to crush House Daphne.
No. Since the great nobles lost their standing, the regulation of the merchant houses has relaxed somewhat. You'd probably have thought that would make it easier for us to profit, but the world isn't so simple. The war has made the price of goods unstable, causing no end of hardship for the people.
Professor.
Felix!
Finally, I notched a win against you. True, it was a narrow victory. When we spar, I feel like I'm revisiting my past. It's like training with my brother. He always won, always, and died before I could win a single bout. From the first time I held a sword, all I wanted was to surpass him. And that's what drove me to become so strong. Perhaps it's absurd to say such a thing, but I've spent all these years training for a duel with a corpse. Yes, I suppose I did. I can never again spar with my brother. Not unless he climbs out of his grave.
Not as far-fetched as you would think it would be.
Still, I continue my endless pursuit of strength. Maybe because I have a new opponent to measure myself against. You, obviously.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious, Byleth.
I beat you this time, but when we next cross swords, who knows what might happen. It was a close match, not a crushing victory. I know that I can do better. I will surpass you in strength, and then I'll become stronger still. Just what I was hoping you'd say. Anyway, thank you for helping me find an answer to the question you asked all those years ago.
I just looked over at the clock. As of now, we've been on this day for 3 hours. Well, it was 3 hours ago I started streaming. There's still the time I spent with the setup. Boa fruit seeds? 5-star seeds? What is this?
Hello. The north side of the Great Bridge of Murden is in the territory of Acheron of the Alliance. He's known as the Weather Vane. He's a notoriously flippant man. A man like that doesn't have the guts to give it all for the defense of that bridge.
He sure doesn't.
No. I need a favor.
Some soldiers stationed at Fodlan's Locket abandoned their posts. They weren't what you'd call upstanding folks. It would be a real headache for us if they became bandits and started wreaking havoc in the towns.
His Highness, the new king, is in the process of unifying the kingdom under his command. His powerful army has joined forces with the Knights of Saros, who moved their seat to Fargus. And now they're presenting a united front against the Imperial army. They're our greatest enemy, absolutely. I don't relish the idea, but there's no turning back now. For now, we should focus our efforts on the Alliance. The Kingdom and Church can come afterwards. Judith, who defends the Great Bridge of Murden, is a formidable opponent.
We're gonna have to kill Judith.
We can't afford to drop our guard.
We're gonna have to kill Judith. Eloise! Ah?
At long last we meet again. I knew you were alive. I knew you could survive. And 5 years on, you arrived.
You're way too proud of yourself for that rhyme.
We're reunited. I'm glad I kept watch for you in the downstream villages all that time. I was so devoted to finding you that I left the Knights of Saros. Now I serve no one other than you. I'll protect you, just as I promised Captain Gerald I would all those years ago.
Now I feel like I have to watch over you.
Professor?
Whoops. Whoops. Did I just... God damn it, did I just skip that for the day? Oh, well. I can do it from the menu now. Oh, that was Ferdy's.
Take that!
Yes, I am in a hurry. Edelgard claims victory after victory. She never stops. 5 years ago, she ascended the throne and swept away the corrupt nobles, my father included. I always thought I would be the one to unseat him, but she did it instead, with all the ease and indifference of someone cracking an egg. Now, as the head of House Eyre, I serve Edelgard. I have to accept that I am her subordinate, working beneath her to reunify Fodlan. The disparity between Edelgard and myself is obvious.
Yeah, sorry to say that, Ferdy, but you're right on that part.
She never stops moving forward, single-minded, never wavering. But where does that leave me? Here, flailing about, going nowhere, contributing nothing. But it is. That is the reality. Not once since our days at the Academy have I exceeded Edelgard's abilities. I saw her as a worthy opponent. She did not even see me as a contender. She did not even consider me at all.
Yeah, sorry, Ferdy.
As the head of the noble House Eyre, I must be able to achieve results. But all my efforts have come to nothing. Results are everything. I have not shown results, so I will be stagnating here forever.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I appreciate that, but it is not enough to persuade me. I know that I have a massive wall to climb, and I must climb it alone. Even so, may I ask a favor?
Sure.
Professor, please keep an eye on my progress. I would appreciate if you were always by my side, bearing witness to my accomplishments.
I mean, the ones I'm around for, sure. Alright, let's talk to the people in the dining hall and then go for the last couple supports. Lysithea.
I'm relieved you're here, Professor. It seems we've reached a stalemate on the war front. I admit I'm feeling apprehensive about fighting the Alliance. No. I have to shelve my personal feelings. There are bigger things at play here. I'll fight with full force. I'm counting on you to lead us to victory, Professor.
She's just got reason. Mercedes.
I have good friends in both the Alliance and Fargus, so this fighting weighs heavily on me. I can't bear the thought of battling the Knights of Saros to the death.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
I have to keep my chin up though, right? Let's press on together, Professor.
Crimson Flower dumped a whole lot of supports on me at once. Yeah, I primed a lot. Primed a lot of shit.
I've been working here for a few years now. There are plenty of others working here too. Since the acolytes and students aren't here, it's up to us to pick up the slack.
Alright, let's go watch some support. How many do I have left? Lawrence and Hanneman.
Professor. Well met, Professor. I trust that you have not had any complaints about me lately. Do you find it concerning that I've ceased making advances toward the ladies? I've decided that it would be inappropriate for me to continue my search for a spouse while we are at war. I expect that means you will not be receiving any more complaints. I hope that puts you more at ease. Actually, the introspection I've gained setting aside my search has motivated me to amend my conduct.
Good.
Not the phrasing I choose, but you're not wrong. Selfishly pursuing my own desires caused me to behave inconsiderately. For instance, it was arrogant and rude to invite ladies to dine with me purely to evaluate them. Our experiences in battle have also given me cause to doubt certain preconceptions I once held. Previously, I had considered it a requirement for my future spouse to come from a noble line. I once thought that commoners lacked the power to influence the wider world, as history might suggest. To find a commoner who made a real impact, one has to look all the way back to Nemesis. That was my belief at any rate. But I realized that I've actually had an influential commoner right in front of me all along. Don't you see? I'm referring to you. You may wield the power of a crest. You are so much more than just that. You have managed to charm everyone around you, to compel them to trust and follow you. Though you may not realize it, that is no mean feat. It is altering the course of history in Fodlan. Your example puts my prior beliefs to shame.
Now we've been going for 3 hours in this one day.
I appreciate the kind words. I have always sought to embody the ideal of nobility. That, at least, is a goal I continue to stand by. But now I know that bloodline alone is not sufficient to gauge a person's worth. I've learned much of this from you. You are humble and open-minded, despite your power and skill. That is why I, at least, find you so charismatic. Perhaps that is the wrong way to say it. What I mean is that you set an admirable example.
Did you just no homo me, Lawrence?
I can only hope someday to be your equal. Of course, you had better keep an eye on me, because I can achieve anything I set out to do. For I am none other than the handsome and talented Lawrence Hellman Gloucester.
Definitely finish off Lawrence Manuela. I can't remember if I've done that. Ah, up there in the cathedral. Oh, that was the poetry support, right? Yeah.
Professor. How are you doing, Professor? Would you care to join me for a cup of tea?
All right, out with it.
It occurs to me that whenever we chat, I have a tendency to
I have seen this
my
one.
questions and theories about your history. It seems only fair to speak on the topic of myself for once. And perhaps you might feel more positively inclined toward my research if I shared my own story. I am quite pleased to hear you're interested. Yes, quite pleased.
Lawrence's Times Compare is just the best, given the mess it used to be. Yeah.
Well,
big glow up for him.
I suppose I should begin at the beginning, eh? I was born into a noble house of the Empire. Not a large house, mind you, but noble all the same. Our land holdings were small, but our bloodline was quite strong. So, as you can imagine, there were many of us in the family who carried the power of crests. I myself bear a minor crest. Our family's abundance of crests may be part of the reason I've been interested in the topic since I was just a boy. I dedicated myself to my studies, and after years of effort, I became lead crest scholar at the Empire's largest research institution. My research is more important than social standing in the Empire. There I had only Imperial blood, and thus imperial crests at hand.
I think it's a shame. I just don't really care about Hanneman.
So I came to Garrick Mach.
He's almost completely failed to interest me.
During my time as a professor.
He's just such a non-entity in my eyes.
But with each revelation, I moved ever closer to the answers I have sought for decades.
Probably his complete one-track mind contributes to that, but...
Your cooperation as the bearer of the Crest of Flames ensures my research will continue to advance. In fact, it may bring me ever closer to the goal of uncovering everything there is to know about crests. I do hope you shall continue helping me advance in this field of study. Together, we will solve the mystery of your Crest of Flames, and our world will be the better for it. Shall we proceed? My lab instruments are fully prepared. I have a great number of tests I'm excited to carry out. No, don't worry. They won't hurt one bit.
That everything? Is that all the supports? I did it! Oh. Do I want to do Euritza Mercedes, Euritza Bernadetta, or Euritza Constance first? That took 3 hours to do the library and all the supports. I wonder if Euritza likes to cook. He does not. What support? What A ranks do I still need to get? Rudy, Lionheart, and Casper. Annette, Raphael, Ignatz, Marianne, Leonie. I haven't seen Annette yet. I gotta do that. Wow, I can't see Yuri's yet. Or Happy's. Okay. I've seen all these A ranks. HP plus 3, Dex, Speed, Luck, Defense. Give him Defense this month. It's just this week.
Please leave it to me. Cooking is my forte. At least, I think it is. I don't usually have a problem, but sometimes things get out of control.
Alright, Euritza. Alright, Euritza Mercedes. Let's. They're totally related.
Food preferences are the same as they ever were.
You haven't changed at all either.
Oh, so they know each other. Euritza was talking about Mercedes being familiar, like early game, but okay. And Euritza and I are ready to go. And Euritza Mercedes as well. Annette Sylvain. Hubert's got some A ranks he can do now. Hubert Shamir. I had pieced together that they were related. They look so much like each other, same hair color, and Yuritsa talked about Mercedes being familiar early in the game. I hadn't had it confirmed until just now.
While I have little...
But I'm not going to fault you for confirming that. Alright, Ash Felix. Recontextualizes Mercy seeing Felix like a brother. Oh. Could do Ash Ingrid if Ash Felix isn't an option. Yeah, we'll do Ash Ingrid. I'm trying to avoid mentioning it. Oh well. I mean, it's fairly obvious.
Looks delicious. I appreciate any good meal, but nothing beats enjoying my favorite food.
Alright. Who here? Probably Edelgard Ferdinand. Bunch of A ranks left for her to get. Could do Edelgard Lysithea.
Oh, I love this eating.
Alright. Who likes the special today? Ferdy Bernie.
Delicious.
Ooh.
I've seen all of Lawrence Dorothea. I've seen all of Lawrence except Lawrence Mercedes. I've already eaten with Shamir. I've already eaten with Lysithea. Marianne. Marianne Leinhardt.
Marianne, are you...
Please don't say so.
Oh, I've got a link with Leinhardt now, too. Cool. Ash Ingrid.
Hi there, Ash. Here to do some reading as well, I take it? Ash?
Huh, Ingrid, you gave me a start. How long have you been standing there?
Not too long.
Apologies for startling you. Must be a great book for you to be so deeply engrossed in it. What has you so captivated?
Porn.
Oh, it's quite an old book. One of the really old legends of Fargus.
Aha! It must be the Sword of Kaifon then, yes?
Oh, so you know it.
Oh yes. I know it quite well. I read it often as a child. In fact, I read it so much that my personal copy fell apart. I brought it everywhere with me. I adore that book. The tale of the warrior Kaifon, whose devotion and loyalty enabled his best friend Luke to become king. He went to great lengths to see things through.
Exactly. I love the image of him charging forward into the fray, ready to take on any obstacle in the name of his king.
Indeed, he was the very picture of the perfect knight. In my opinion, the best chapter is right around the middle of the book.
Ah, the part about the war of the eagle and lion? That's my favorite part. In a flash, Kaifon's sword flew from its scabbard. The knight parried the assassin's blade mere inches from the spine of his king.
Kaifon's blade hummed like the wind, slashing the enemy's throat. In mere moments, their forces lay vanquished, decimated by his mighty blows.
I like this
I
one.
can recite the entirety of it if you like. I never grow weary of that tale, the pinnacle of knighthood, with all its struggles and glory.
I know just what you mean. I never get tired of it. Some people laugh at me for reading these old tales, but I'll never outgrow them. I'm glad to find someone who shares my enthusiasm.
I'm glad of it as well.
Hey, look at these book
What other books
nerds.
do you enjoy, Ash?
Well,
I like this.
I ever read was Lug and the Maiden of Wind.
Luke.
You have fantastic taste. That story is another favorite. The final chapter makes me tear up every time.
I know. When I first read it, I just couldn't get that ending out of my head.
It seems we have much in common. I look forward to chatting again sometime.
Hell yes. I'm going to focus in on this one.
Yes, let's.
And then they started dating. All right, Mercedes Eureka, let's see.
I never imagined I'd see you again.
Indeed.
Emil, I've missed you so much.
Emil?
How long has it been since we last spoke?
Since you left House Bartels, I was 8.
I mean, I've only seen their one interaction, but it's enough to get the ship rolling.
And just look at you now. All grown up.
All grown up and murdering people.
I notice that you still indulge in sweets. It makes me happy to see that you're still the same in some ways.
It has been some time since I've tasted such a thing.
Well, of course. That's because this is a recipe only Mother and I know of. Oh no, you've gotten crumbs all over your face. Sit still while I wipe them off.
Don't mother the Death Knight.
Stop it.
Oh, come on. Allow me to be your big sis. It won't hurt you to indulge me.
Mercedes, the little brother you once loved, he is no longer here.
It doesn't matter to me how you've changed. You will always be my baby brother. You are precious to both me and to Mother.
Mother is well, I assume.
She is very well. You should send her a letter. She'd be so thrilled.
This is so weird.
I suppose.
Mother has always borne a deep regret over what happened. We should have brought you with us. We never intended to leave you alone with House Bartels.
Perhaps not. But it was wise of Mother to have only taken you. As the heir, if she had taken me, Father would have searched relentlessly for us all. And had he found us, I feel certain he'd have killed you both.
Yes, that's what Mother said too. He'd have done exactly that. You know, I've heard about what happened. About killing the family of House Bartels.
And? Are you afraid of me? Or do you despise me?
Neither of those. That isn't why I bring this up.
Killed their whole family.
I understand your reasons, but it's a terrible thing to take a life. You understood that even then. I've been waiting a very long time to ask you. Why did you do it? Why did you kill your father?
Because I wanted to.
I know you're avoiding my question. I can hear it in your voice. I won't ask any further if you don't want to tell me why. But just let me know if you ever feel ready to talk to me about it.
Seems like Byleth may have had the only good father in all of Vodland, yeah.
Understood. The time may eventually come.
Until then, I'll wait patiently.
All right. Let's watch Lionheart's first. Hopefully this is it. Yeah.
Ah, yes. Professor, what brings you out so late? Oh, that was likely my voice. I've been worrying about something. I asked you once to help me achieve my goal of being a person who can simply nap all day.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Then I thought, if the world becomes a peaceful place, all my crest research might be for naught. Well, I don't see how crests have much use in times of peace. Certainly there are crests that make you stronger and could be used in engineering. And I suppose crests that increase magical abilities might help doctors heal injuries. Still, the possibilities seem limited. It's as if crests were designed to be used only in times of war. Their
Gee,
power
I
means
wonder
bringing about
why.
death and destruction.
It's an interesting observation, Lionheart. Follow that one.
I cannot prove what I say is true, but suppose for a moment that it is. The longer this war goes on, the more useful my crest research becomes. But if the war were to end today, we would go on living, perhaps not using the power of our crests at all. It is truly my dream to be a crest scholar, but I also dream of all the wonderful naps peace would bring. Saying it all out loud, it feels a rather stupid thing to worry over. Knowledge or peace, sleep or war. Thank you, Professor. I appreciate the sentiment. Although if I stop researching crests, I'll have one less excuse to spend time with you. Professor, don't make faces like that. People like you, who listen to my blathering, and then nod and smile as though what I say matters. People like you are very precious to me.
Oh. All right, Yuritsa. Let's see what you've got to say for yourself.
No.
Curious to see how Yuritsa is doing. Let's go for a visit. Bright and peppy music for this.
What's the matter? Not hungry?
No, there's a lot to stare you down for. What is that? Oh!
I am partaking in misunderstood.
The incongruence.
Is there a problem? Yes. I am a person too. What I eat is nobody's business but my own. If you need something, spit it out. My ice cream.
My ice cream is melting. Oh, God.
Perhaps after I finish devouring this treat.
Are you really the Death Knight?
I am. And I am not. At the moment, I am Yuritsa von Hrim. The Emperor and the army know me only as the Death Knight. But he is merely an illusion. A demon who resides in my heart. He is not me. Not who I am at my core.
I'm not buying it, dude.
He thrives and feasts upon blood, death, suffering.
I'm not buying it, dude.
So while I sit here eating, I prefer to just be myself. Yuritsa. I would like to be who I truly am.
...
I am incapable of enjoying my dessert with you gawking at me like that. I have no further words for you.
I also don't like the way his voice actor acts him. Like the... I have no further words for you. Go. Wow, he likes ice cream. My ice cream is melting. What are his goals? Swords and lances. Scythe of Serial is a lance. His riding's a... Well, I suppose we'll go all in on flight. His goals are murder and death. Okay. Okay. What time is it? It is 10 p.m. It really took 3.5 hours to do all those support links and stuff. Holy shit. I think, actually, that's where we're going to end the stream. We're going to start with the end of month battle next time. And this will just have been a stream for catching up on all the support links and stuff. Gameplay another day, yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sitting here with me through all of this. I may not stream tomorrow. I'm going to live blog Paranoia Agent tomorrow, but I may not stream tomorrow. And I have a doctor's appointment Tuesday, but I may stream when I get home from that. But regardless, the next thing you'll see from me is Paranoia Agent. So, I will see you there. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourselves a nice night.